really, really fun. I'll play DJ. Thank you, Swishy Raiders. Hearts in the chat for the Swishy Raiders friends. They join us every single morning, and they're fabulous human beings. Swish, love you, friend. Appreciate you very much. So again, tonight, 7 o'clock, come on back for that. In the meantime, we have a show to do. Please consider joining our team if you've not yet done that. In case you didn't know, if you just complete all the tasks up there, it certainly helps push the live to the FYP. There's a gifting goal today. Also, we are crowdfunded. You want to support the channel. Best way to do that are through the various appetizers at Factsstillmatter. If a few people gave a couple of bucks here and there, we could bang that goal out and we wouldn't have to talk about it. But again, always appreciated, never expected. If you'd like me to read a comment, I'd be happy to. What else? Also, the Discord. Please consider joining our Discord. You can find links to the Discord in the link tree in my bio. We are also streaming on YouTube, and an update on that. The equipment that I've ordered through your kindness and generosity is supposed to be here today. Yes, exactly. Let's bang it out. That's exactly right. Hey, now, I'm distracted. It's supposed to arrive today, if not today, tomorrow, and then hopefully things will work out. We can start to get that set up, do a couple little test runs. Who knows? We may be streaming live from YouTube as soon as next week, depending on how that goes. So, again, thank you all very, very much for all of your kindness and all of your generosity. I appreciate you very much. So it's Free Speech Friday. It's kind of a little tradition around here. And we've got, obviously, lots of opportunities to discuss how our free speech is being violated. I think a few things, though, that we should start. Today's a big day if you are a Nobel Prize watcher. Like, I don't know who would be, but the ironic part about this is that, well, I should start there. It does seem like there is a peace deal between Israel and Gaza. And I am so grateful that that's happened. I hope it holds. There's been so many examples of how the guy country has not held their word when it comes to ceasefires. It does look like the first phase, an agreement to release hostages. I think it's a wonderful thing. I think it's something we should all celebrate. I don't want any more of the G-side. I don't want any more human suffering. I think it's a great thing. And if the President of the United States was influential in getting that done, then thank you, Mr. President, for getting that done. It's necessary. It's long overdue. And I'm so grateful that that's happening. Let's just hope it holds. Okay. Yeah. So today's a big day in the Nobel Prize world. Now, it's not exactly a common thing for someone to lobby for the Nobel Peace Prize, in particular, our president. I don't know. Anyway, we'll leave it at that. So here's the official announcement.
The Nobel Peace Prize for 2025 goes to a brave and committed champion of peace. To a woman who keeps the flame of democracy burning amidst a growing darkness. The Norwegian Nobel Committee has decided to award the Nobel Peace Prize for 2025 to Maria Corina Machado. She is receiving the Nobel Peace Prize for her tireless work promoting democratic rights for the people of Venezuela and for her struggle to achieve a just and peaceful transition from dictatorship.
That's exciting news, obviously. So let's read a little bit about Maria Corina Machado, who just was recently announced this morning, as a matter of fact, who won the Nobel Peace Prize despite heavy campaigning by U.S. President. We're just the fucking embarrassment to the world. Like it's almost, it's like you're running for prom king. You make your little postcards and your little flyers. You're running for class president, and you walk around the school with a pencil. Vote for me, and you get a free pencil. It's what it fucking feels like. It's so pitifully fucking embarrassing, but that's what happens. Okay, when you've got a big baby orange-faced fucking narcissist in charge. Anyway, despite heavy campaigning by U.S. President Trump for the prestigious recognition, the 2025 Nobel Peace Prize Committee has awarded the Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado for her democracy advocacy in the Latin American nation. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has called Machado the personification of resilience, tenacity, and patriotism, in a profile for her inclusion in this year's Time 100 list of the most influential people in the world. The 58-year-old industrial engineer, nicknamed by journalists and commentators as Venezuela's Iron Lady, has led the opposition to country's authoritarian President Maduro, whose last 2 electoral victories have not been recognized by a number of countries, including the U.S. In the country's 2024 election, Machado emerged as the opposition's central figure, despite being formally barred from running for public office. After winning the opposition 2023 primary with an overwhelming 92% of the vote, she was disqualified by the government's controller. Gee, I wonder why. Which accused her of administrative irregularities and barred her from holding public office for 15 years. Weird. When the ban was upheld, Machado named historian Karina Yoris as her stand-in candidate, a more widely seen as a protest against Maduro's tightening control over Venezuela's electoral system. In recent years, Machado has been forced into hiding to protect her safety. The Nobel Prize for 2025 goes to a brave and committed champion of peace, to a woman who keeps the flame of democracy burning amidst a growing darkness, said Jorgen Vatne Frednes, chairman of the Norwegian Nobel Committee, said, "Today, at a time when democracy is under threat, it is more important than ever to defend this common ground." The committee said Machado was awarded the prize for her tireless work for promoting democratic rights for the people of Venezuela and for her struggle to achieve a just and peaceful transition from dictatorship to democracy. Machado co-founded and formally led vote monitoring civic group Sumate in the early 2000s. In 2010, she won a seat in Venezuela's National Assembly with a record number of votes and served in the legislature until 2014, when she was stripped of her seat in a move that critics have widely say was politically motivated. Shocker. She received the Sakharov Prize and the Václav Havel Human Rights Prize, both in 2024, recognizing her nonviolent resistance to authoritarianism in the country. The Nobel Peace Prize was founded by Swedish industrialist Alfred Nobel, who established it in 1895. And he was a person who has done the most, recognizing the person who's done the most or the best work for fraternity between nations and the abolition or reduction of standing armies and the formation and spreading of peace Congress. Last year, Nihon Hindanko, a Japanese grassroots organizer that advocates for nuclear disarmament, took home the prize. Good for her. Unexpected angel. Good for her. And the best part about it is that because of what she won it for, standing up for democracy, standing up for the rights of the disenfranchised, standing up for a civil society, it's good for her. And if you haven't yet purchased your stock in Heinz ketchup, you're probably a little too late. I'm sure there's going to be a reaction today from the White House. The expectation that Donald Trump's credentials compared to this woman who won the award, 2 things. He didn't get it, and a woman won it. He's going to lose his fucking shit today. So, good for her. That's a really good story to start the day with, as we always look for those unexpected angels. He's going to be so mad. I know he is. Okay. So, a few things I think we should cover. There was an announcement for the White House regarding the president's health. So this was posted yesterday. On Friday morning today, President Trump will visit. I want you to listen to this statement because it's really interesting and it's quite a tell from my perspective. On Friday morning, President Trump will visit Walter Reed Medical Center for a planned meeting and remarks with the troops. While there, President Trump will stop for his routine yearly checkup. He will then return to the White House. President Trump is considering going to the Middle East shortly thereafter, said Caroline Leavitt. First of all, the president only goes in once a year for their annual checkup, and that happened in April. And that's when we started to learn that there's some stuff going on, that he's got the cankles, and he's got, I forget, is it congenitive heart disease? Early signs? Is it congenitive? I think that's the word. If I'm wrong about that, my apologies. So he's going back in. Now, there's been a lot of reporting about his medical condition. There's been a lot of congenital. Congestive, my bad. Yes, congestive. I always mess up that word. Congestive heart failure. And I'm not one to say that I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to diagnose that. But there has been reporting that he's taking an ED drug that also apparently does help with things like this. Don't forget, he's got the best access to the best medical care in the world. In the world, bar none, right? I know, venous insufficiency, exactly right. So he's going today to go and have this exam done, right? And the tell to me in this message is that there's always going to be an attempt from the White House to promote strength. So they said he's going to first meet a planned meeting with the troops. Second, he's just going to swing by for his yearly checkup, and then he will turn to the White House after, and then is considering going to the Middle East shortly thereafter. So that's, again, by design. That's, again, objectively, that's good communication strategy right there. That's how you do it when you're trying to cover something up, right? You say we're gonna. He's got to go in. Everybody around him knows because of first of all, the glazing festivals that's been happening at the cabinet meetings about how they're giving him 2-minute standing ovations and they're cheering for him. They know he doesn't have much longer to live, quite frankly. His health is failing, and you can see it. He's obviously, falling asleep in meetings, and he's covering his hand constantly because that's where he's getting his IVs. So they're trying to do everything they can to promote this aura of strength, and it's just not working. Right? It's just not working. I think it should tell us all that our presidents are too old. Joe Biden was too old for the job. Too old. Donald Trump is too old for the job. Too old. So I guess we'll see what happens. But what I find really, really interesting is, you guys might remember this little nugget. This was just from a few weeks ago. Or a couple of days ago, as a matter of fact. So here you go. So with that in mind, knowing everything that he's said and the things that he's said and done and how he said and done them, here's just a little montage that I prepared for you because I love you so much. Keep tapping.
But I also did a cognitive exam, which is always very risky because if I didn't do well, you'd be the first to be blaring it. And I had a perfect score.
Okay, first of all, how does one achieve a perfect score on a cognitive exam? How do you? I've taken some of these tests, and I don't know how you achieve a perfect score. It's like you answer questions, and they make determinations on how you answer the question. Okay.
And one of the doctors said he's almost never seen a perfect score. I had a perfect score. I got the highest score, and that made me feel good. When they asked, would I like to do one? I said, yeah. I said, did Obama do it? No. Did Bush do it? No. Did Biden do it? I definitely did. Biden wouldn't have gotten the first 3 questions right. No, Biden didn't do it. Biden should have done it. I'm actually a person that believes that if you're president, you should do a cognitive exam. But last time I took a cognitive exam, and it was a perfect score. The doctors announced it. And by the way, not the easiest test. The first few questions are pretty easy. Once you get into the middle, it gets a little trickier. And there aren't a lot of people in this room that would get every single question right, I can guarantee you.
You're putting me in a difficult spot now. Next question.
Okay. But then we can go back to this little nugget. And again, you're welcome. This is how much I love you guys.
Donald Trump do on the competency test?
I think he did great the last time he did it. I have no reason to think he wouldn't do well this time.
Like a memory question. It's like you'll go person, woman, man, camera, TV. So they say, could you repeat that? So I said, yeah. So it's person, woman, man, camera, TV. Give us that again. Can you do that again? And you go person, woman, man, camera, TV. If you get it in order, you get extra points. They said nobody gets it in order. It's actually not that easy, but for me it was easy.
What the fuck? Okay, hold on a second. I got the okay. Thank you, Crow. All right, so this is the official announcement from the White House, from Stephen Chung, who's a communications director. So Stephen Chung basically is the Toby Ziegler, if you watch West Wing. President Trump will continue making peace deals, ending wars, and saving lives. He has the heart of humanitarian, and there will never be anyone like him who can move mountains with the sheer force of his will. The Nobel committee prove they place politics over peace. Can we just be any more fucking petty? We gotta find somebody to blame. You guys told me I was gonna win the peace prize. Where's the fucking ketchup? Thanks, Crow. Appreciate you, buddy. What the fuck? Person, woman, man, camera, TV. That guy's got his finger on the fucking button. Person, woman, man, camera, TV. Person, woman, man, camera, TV. And just the sheer fucking confidence that he has. Again, let's just play this sound because it's fucking hilarious.
But I also did a cognitive exam, which is always very risky because if I didn't do well...
It's risky if you're a dumbass.
Well, you'd be the first to be blaring it, and I had a perfect score, and one of the doctors said he...
Hey, mods, I have a good idea. Let's see if we can get our hands on... I'm not even sure if this is possible. Let's see if we can get our hands on the exact cognitive test that the president took. We'll put it in the Discord, and you all can take it. I'm even not sure if that's possible, but if anybody can find it, it would be the amazing mod team that we have here. So hearts in the chat, first of all, for our mods and for mods everywhere. But if we can find it, you guys, we'll put it in the Discord. We'll let you know, and we'll take it together. Okay?
He's almost never seen a perfect score. I had a perfect score. I got the highest score, and that made me feel good. When they asked, would I like to do one, I said, yeah. I said, did Obama do it? No. Did Bush do it? No. Did Biden do it? I definitely did.
What about
Biden wouldn't have gotten the first 3 questions right. No, Biden didn't do it. Biden should have done it. I'm actually a person that believes that if you're president, you should do a cognitive exam. But the last time I took a cognitive exam, and it was a perfect score. The doctors announced it. And by the way, not the easiest test. The first few questions are pretty easy. Once you get into the middle, it gets a little trickier. And there aren't a lot of people in this room that would get every single question right.
My guy, you thought habeas corpus was a dude. You think magnets don't work in water, sir. You think windmills are causing cancer, sir. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Sam.
Samsung. Smart people don't like me. Samsung. Smart people don't like me.
Yeah. He's the guy that thought, we've never seen a wetter hurricane in terms of water. Thailand. Whoa. Kofifi. Yep. So there's that. So we'll track that. Isaac Neutron. Maybe we could just use like a cleanse, a lung cleanse, like inside the body with like a disinfectant. I know ultraviolet light, we can flash ultraviolet light in the body, but country of Mattel, Tim Apple. When windmills are causing sharks to beach themselves. Albania. Please, you guys, I don't even have to say anything. Look at our chat. You guys are the best. We got to rake the forests. Got to turn the big faucet in Canada so all the water can. I don't know if I've ever said this to you guys before. This is kind of how I think about it. Remember all that bullshit with the water in California and in Oregon and Washington and Canada. I firmly believe that he thinks if something is to the north of you, that means it runs downhill. I mean, think about it. The way in which he said that, the giant faucet that takes 24 hours to turn. So you turn it, and I generally think he thinks it runs downhill. Like, yeah, like tariffs on the penguins. It's so fucking embarrassing. Oh my God, it's so embarrassing. So again, President Trump will visit Walter Reed today for a planned meeting. Okay. And then remarks with the troops while there. The president will stop by for his routine yearly checkup. He'll then return to the White House. President Trump is considering going to the Middle East shortly thereafter. It's almost, this is like a weekend at Bernie's kind of thing. They have to prop him up. I mean, literally, they got to prop him up. It is suspicious, right, Di? Just a tiny bit suspicious. A tiny bit suspicious. The president of Puerto Rico, right? The president of Puerto Rico. I forgot all about that one. But you guys, we're safe because of person, woman, man, camera, TV. I just want everybody to know that I feel safe and secure when I sleep at night. And by the way, it was 27 degrees last night in the land that doesn't exist. Nice and cozy. The best for sleeping. Great for cuddling. The best for sleeping. No doubt about it. So we'll keep an eye on that. What the fuck? Okay, here's a little bit more from our dear leader. Absolutely not. Absolutely yes. Wait till you try winter camping when it's like 15 below and you're in your tent. That's when it gets really fun. Okay, you all are like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? Just get on with the show. All right, so here's the president. This is from one of the infamous cabinet meetings, and there are little tells to me is how bad his health actually is, because the way in which his cabinet members continue to talk about him, I think they know, right? Acadia camping in April. You're right. I think they know. I think they know. So they're talking about these 2-minute standing ovations, right? Do I have the sound from Brooke Rollins? This is wild. Brooke Rollins, who's the Secretary of Agriculture. So Sam, you've got a big bar you've got to jump over because she's the Secretary of Agriculture, and boy, she is super qualified for the job. She being Brooke Rollins. So this is what I'm talking about. Okay, just listen to how she describes this.
Now is not going to be lost due to the government shutdown. Tell me how that happened and why it's so important.
Well, first of all, can I say we had an amazing cabinet meeting. You were playing a clip from that just a minute ago of President Trump. He walked in before the cameras were there. The cabinet is seated around the table just right behind me, and we all stood up, just his team. There was no one else in there but the cabinet, and gave him, I bet it was a 2-minute standing ovation. I don't think anyone's talked about that. There's so much love in that room and respect and just appreciation for him. No one could do what that man is doing today. So grateful.
Now is
what? You're right. It's so fucking weird. It is so fucking weird. I have never heard anything like that in my life. It is insane. They will stroke. Get that image out of your head, you perverts. They will glaze like crazy. It is unbelievable. And to me, I really feel like they know that his health is really bad. So they're trying to say, I want to be the one that loves him the most. It's like they're all in like the pick me crowd. Yeah, you're right, Francis. Like, you wouldn't see that level of kind of devotion in North Korea. It does give you North Korea vibes. But the difference is, in North Korea, members of the cabinet don't go on public record talking about this bullshit. Again, listen to this.
Not going to be lost due to the government shutdown. Tell me how that happened and why it's so important.
They peacock him, yes.
Well, first of all, can I say we had an amazing cabinet meeting. You were playing a clip from that just a minute ago of President Trump. He walked in before the cameras were there. The cabinet is seated around the table just right behind me, and we all stood up. Just his team. There was no one else in there but the cabinet, and gave him, I bet it was a 2-minute standing ovation. I don't think anyone's talked about that. There's so much.
Yeah, the reason we don't talk about it is because it's fucking insane. That's why we don't talk about it. You guys can do you. Can you imagine, the after action review from the cabinet meeting, all the cabinet members are standing around. It's like, I gave him the best hug. No, I gave him the best hug. No, I gave him the best hug. No, I gave him the best speech. No, I gave him the best speech. It's like, that's what it seems like. I mean, I'm directing my daughter in Mean Girls as we speak. We're rehearsing for the show coming up in November. And it's kind of what it feels like. They've got their own burn book. And they're all writing things about each other. Oh, Christine Noem, she doesn't really like the president. She just does this so she can get on TV. Oh, Brooke Rollins, she doesn't know shit about farming. It's like, what the fuck are we doing? They're so fucking weird. They're so weird. Thank you, Tim Walls, for coining that phrase. They are so weird. Is Trump Regina George? That's a good question. Well, he is a massive deal in his own head. At some point, I'm going to play my daughter singing because I'll brag for that because she's got a crazy voice. Anyway, it's just fucking weird, right? It's just weird. But think about I just think it's important that we know, because if you remember that first cabinet meeting where the cabinet meeting was like 3 hours and everyone went around the table and talked about how much they loved the president. Okay, that is just not normal. Then within days, we learned of his diagnosis. They're covering up. They know how bad his health is. Okay? They know how bad. And then there was this reporting from, apparently there was a video, an image captured during his UN address of a white tablet sitting on the dais that he was, the podium that he was speaking from. And the internet sleuth said, okay, what is that? The White House knew that the picture then was circulating. The White House said, well, that's just the cap to a bottle of Tylenol, ironically enough. And then the sleuths are like, no, that would be round. This is oval shaped. And then somebody zoomed in. They found a number on it. You're right, RJ. They found a number on it, and then they tracked that number. And apparently it's like sildenafil or whatever the active ingredient is in Cialis. And then if you research Cialis, it's also used to help with certain heart conditions. Don't know. But, and then there was that picture of him at the U.S. Open with a pill in his mouth. Listen, dude, you're sick. You're old. Okay? Tadalafil, yeah, I think it's sildenafil is the other one. Like there's active ingredients in whatever it is, one of the fills, one of the ED meds. I'm not even going to go there. Okay, so there's that. I know, Ty. I know. I'm sorry. I know. But again, this is another cover up. Why would you use language in your press statement other than to try to what's the where is it again? Did I get rid of it already? Yeah, whatever, doesn't matter. He's gonna go and visit the troops at Walter Reed. Cool. Then he's just gonna swing by for an appointment. And then after he's gonna go back to the White House, and then he might be going to the Middle East. Okay. All right. So here's from that same cabinet. Here we go a little bit more inside the mind of the president, talking about, because he's so strong on the economy.
Down prices, and we've really brought them down a lot. That's the other thing. We're bringing down prices a lot. We're bringing down grocery prices, but the big thing is energy. When you bring down energy, everything comes down, and the energy prices are way down. I see we're down to about $61 now a barrel, and what gasoline's going to be, I think gasoline's going to be below $2 at some point at the pretty day.
Julian, we wanted to welcome you. Julian, meet the chat. Chat, meet Julian. You know what to do.
Our future is very low, much lower than it was under Sleepy Joe. It's bringing down prices. And
okay, so let's talk about that. And this is one of these things that when this gets studied through history books in the future, people are going to say, wait a second. The president, the 45th and 47th president of the United States used to tell people that gas prices were low and that they were under $2. In what world? In what world did that happen? Because we can look at the historical evidence. Didn't you guys ever look stuff up back then? And we'd be like, yeah, we kind of did. So according to the EIA, gas prices are actually up. The EIA is the Energy Information Agency, or the U.S. Energy Information Administration. By the way, they have a banner on their homepage that says the EIA is continuing normal publication schedules and data collection until further notice, letting people know that, yes, we're a government agency, and even though the MAGA Republican government shut down to gut people's health care and to protect predators, yeah, that's a thing. They wanted people to know that they're still going to report. So the gas prices at the end of September, this is all grades. So they include leaded, unleaded, diesel, the whole 9 yards, is $3.29 a gallon on average. At the end of February, because we can't give him credit for January because he didn't take office until the 20th. At the end of February, gas prices nationally were $3.24 a gallon, which means let's see, 30, 20, I'm sorry, carry the one. They're up 5 cents a gallon on average. So there's that. So let's go back to his list again, just real quick, so we can go through it one at a time.
Bringing down prices, and we've really brought them down a lot. That's the other thing. We're bringing down prices a lot. We're bringing down grocery prices.
Okay, grocery prices. I'm curious. So over the 12 months, this is reported by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Over 12 months through August 2025, the food at home price index rose 2.7%. More broadly, food and beverage overall, including restaurants, is up 3.2% over last year. A monthly jump of grocery store prices rose between 0.6% between July and August, the largest monthly increase during that period ever since this statistic was measured. That's not good. Meat, poultry, fish, and eggs up 5.5%. Fruits and vegetables up 2%. Cereals and bakery products up 1.1%. Other food at home, including fats, oils, snacks. That's my category, the snacks category. I dominate the snacks category. Up 1.5%. Dairy and other related products up 0.1%. Overall, food at home up 2.7%. Wow. That's wild, MAGA. Snacks do matter. You're damn fucking right they do. What's the best snack? We'll do this as a poll. The best snack, cheese and crackers. Fight me. I'm always fascinated, right? Salty chips, that's good too. That's good too. Salt and vinegar chips, cheese and crackers. If I got to take one to the desert island with me, I'm taking the cheese and crackers because at least I can get some protein. Okay. It's not funny. It's the sad part about this is that the MAGA base will believe him when he says gas prices will go under $2. No, gas prices are not going to go under $2. Generally speaking, this time of the year, gas prices get a little bit lower. The winter blend is not as expensive as the summer blend. We know that there was this big push by OPEC. They increased production, flooded the market, which is going to drive prices down. And then when they pull that back again, what's going to happen? Just like what happened during the OPEC Plus deal the first time, prices are going to spike. So he's going to lie to you again. He's going to say that he did this. Corn chips and guacamole. Ooh, that's good. I'm sorry, Chris, buddy, I'm posting that. I wouldn't consider that a snack, but do people outside of New England know what that is? If you're outside of New England, do you know what that is? Do you know what a fluffernutter is? Do you guys know that? Do you know what a fluffernutter is? Yes? Jess knows yes. No? You oh my gosh. A fluffernutter is peanut butter and marshmallow fluff on Wonder Bread, ideally. Yes. That's the best. If you want to go next level, I'm making myself hungry and I'm on a diet. You put a little bit of butter on both sides of the bread and then you grill it. Holy shit. Anyway, the price for Fluffernutter is up. Peanut butter, marshmallow fluff, it's all up. So we have all this information that's available to us. We know the inflation rates are up. We know that the unemployment rate's up. We know that the GDP is declining. I know, a grilled fluffernutter. I know, right? Seriously. So how is it that people will just sit in their little... I feel like when MAGA, especially MAGA men, like when they'll cup their hands and they'll put it behind their butt and they'll fart and then they'll put it in their face and smell it because that's kind of their jam these days. Those same people, when they go to the grocery store and they're paying for their fluffernutters or their fruit, they probably don't eat fruit, whatever that might be, and the prices are higher, they're going to blame Joe Biden. What about Biden? Biden raised the prices of my fluffernutter. Sir, Biden hasn't been in office. He's got stage 4 cancer or stage 5 cancer, depending on who you talk to. He hasn't been in office in months. How did Joe Biden? Well, he did it. He put a ban on the fluff, and now we got to deal with that, and I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, why? Stage 9, exactly. It's sad, but, we're here to talk about it. Yeah. So there's that. Everything is up across the board. Coffee, this is an interesting little inside my life. I worked in the coffee industry for 13 years. Was hired by a great company in Vermont, and the company that I work for, Green Mountain Coffee Roasters, ended up purchasing Keurig. So, the little pod company, and then we can have that conversation about environmental impact, and I'm happy to have that conversation with you. But I know about the coffee industry pretty well. In fact, I got my tasting certificate. I've got a pretty good, they in the industry, they call it a tongue. I've got a pretty good tongue. Anyway, different conversation. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Anyway, coffee can only grow between the tropics. Okay, it can only grow between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. Now, there are some exceptions here and there, right? There are some exceptions, but if you look at they call it the coffee band. If you look at the coffee band, the best coffee in the world comes from those countries. You think of Indonesia for Sumatra blend, you think of countries in Africa, you think of countries in Central America. So the only place in our country that we can grow coffee pretty consistently, maybe in southern Florida, but not really, it would be Hawaii. And it's called Kona. And it's one of the most expensive coffees in the world, not because it's the best necessarily, because, coffee is tongue specific. It's good, but it's expensive because it's grown on U.S. soil. Going on with Christmas merch due to it's good, but it's not the best. I'm a Sumatra guy. That's my favorite style. That's my favorite blend. The price of coffee is going up like crazy, and people are like, why? We should just grow it here. We got plenty of farmland. No, coffee grows in tropical climates, thus the tropics, and it usually grows on elevation. Those are the things that are required. Coffee bushes, trees, it's the cherry. You peel the cherry. Inside the cherry is the bean. So that's how it works. And it's a labor of love for these families, these family farm communities who grow coffee. It's impossible. We can't grow it here. We just can't. So for MAGA, when you're going to your Dunkins or you're going to whatever every single morning, if you enjoy that cup of coffee, and the prices are going up, in your mind, you can say, well, I got plenty of farmland in Oklahoma where it's dry as a fucking bone and flat as shit. We'll just grow our coffee there. No. Nope. Impossible. So there's that. Okay, so then this is going to drive you guys fucking crazy. There is as we know, there is a massive problem with our healthcare system currently, in case you didn't know. We've reached a point where we've got Republicans in Congress so desperate to cover up Donald Trump being on the Epstein list that they're shutting down the government, the Republican government shutdown, so that they can protect him as the predator he is. Meanwhile, as by the way, I just communicated with my representative to help me with the ACA, and it looks like my premiums are going to go up $1,200 a month. So that's a nice round number. That's roughly my mortgage payment. Don't know what the fuck I'm going to do. I'm not going to think about it today. It's Free Speech Friday. Not going to think about it today, but that's the deal. But that's indicative of a lot of other people, and I've got it lucky. A lot of other people don't. So that's the reality. And that's what's going to happen at the end of this year. In fact, the marketplace opens November 1st. I don't know what the fuck to do. I'm probably just going to wing it. I'll figure something out. I don't know. Anyway, while that's happening, the president of the United States is now, I tried to create some imagery for you. Is now hawking watches. This is on Newsmax.
Hello, everyone. It's President Donald J. Trump, and it's Trump time. Check out this red beauty. It's one of my new watches. Wear it proudly on your wrist, and everyone will know exactly what it's for, who it represents. It's really going to be something special. It's for your favorite president. Get your watch today at gettrumpwatches.com. Please make a great gift. It's Trump time.
It's Trump time, apparently. This beauty right here, right? So that did that cut my mic out? Can you guys still hear me? Everything good? Yes? We good? Everything good? Everything changed? We all set? Yes. Good. Okay. The red one, the official merch runs from the $4.99 red version, $499 for this one, up to $799 for the premium quality watch. And he's making ads. It is against the law, but they don't care about that. So I just think that's, I'm probably going to be picking up one or two and then send them to my friends and say, hey, I got you some Trump time in case you need to know what's happening. Here you go. And I think the thing about it is that there are probably people in our country who've been best snack. Cheese and Crackers wins. You see that? Thank you for the poll, guys. We only got 6 votes, but Cheese and Crackers wins overwhelmingly so. Nobody voted for pretzels. Nobody voted Nutella. Come on. And then chips and salsa came in a distant second. He's advertising this on Newsmax, right? He's advertising this on Newsmax to people who are over-indexed, impacted more by cuts to the Medicaid, Medicare system and SNAP benefits and WIC benefits and CHIPS benefits, et cetera. He's marketing it to them. And then a lot of people, in my opinion, are going to figure out a way to buy one. People will take out a second mortgage, just like the gold sneakers. I'm a snap. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Anyway, that's what's going on while people are about to pay exponentially, significantly more money than what they should because of the MAGA Republican. Steve's always blushing because of the MAGA Republican government shutdown. That's nice. I'm so glad that he cares so much about us. I've got Patty Murray because Patty Murray I love Patty Murray, and I think this is her. We're going to talk about MTG quite a bit this morning because MTG is just. I gotta say, I still despise her just because of some of the horrible things that she said, but I respect what she's doing because she's calling it out because she's representing her constituents. She's representing her constituents. That's her job. But let me find this little clip from Patty Murray because she's talking about how the healthcare costs in our country are just through the roof, and we need to be doing something about it. Here we go. She runs down the list, and this is what I was just talking about how people in red states who might want to go out and buy the red watch are the ones that are going to be the most impacted.
The 10 states facing the biggest healthcare increases if Republicans refuse to act, all red states. West Virginia, looking at a 387% rate hike for families that rely on ACA tax credits. Wyoming, 382%. Alaska, 346% rate hike. Tennessee, 320%. Mississippi, 314%. That is 5 red states where premiums are going to more than quadruple for families that rely on those tax credits. But you know what? Let's keep going. Let's do the next 5.
Yeah, let's do the next 5.
These are states where the average premium will more than triple for families relying on the tax credits. Texas, 289% increase. South Carolina, 285%. Alabama, 284%. South Dakota, 235%. And North Dakota, 234%. So there you have it. The 10 states facing the biggest healthcare increases if Republicans refuse to act, all red states.
So again, I can't help you understand that, MAGA. I can't help you. We're here to remind you that we care about that shit because benefits for blue-haired, fingernail-painting liberals, progressives, will also benefit you. Now, if you live in one of those states, and I fact-checked this, and she's right, 387% increase in Wyoming, 380. Okay. Cool. All right. 387% in West Virginia. Wyoming, 382%. Alaska, 346%. Tennessee, 320%. Mississippi, 314%. Texas, 289%. South Carolina, 285%. Alabama, 284%. South Dakota, 235%. North Dakota, 234%. Those, if you live in those states, this is what we're talking about. So, I I don't know what to tell you. And then I've got some sound from a resident of West Virginia. I found this. This is a
windmills all over the place.
Oh yeah, hold on. We'll talk about that in a second, because there's more stuff. So this was a voter, a constituent from the state of West Virginia, and she is testifying in front of a Democratic-led committee because she wanted to call out what Patty Murray was literally just discussing, and the impact it's going to have on her family and how hard and damaging this is going to be. Do I still have that sound? I think I do. Give me 1 second here. We try to make these moments personal, because we can all relate when we do it that way, right? We can all just say, "Oh yeah, I mean, can you imagine if that happened to me? What would happen to my family?" So we're going to break this down for you, because this is the shit. This is the real life impact of the MAGA Republican government shutdown. The MAGA Republicans wanting so desperate to protect predators and P3DOs, so fucking desperate to do that they're going to kick people off their insurance. I'm going to play some sound for you guys from Mike Johnson, who was on C-SPAN. I think it was either yesterday or the day before. And a military spouse called in, and how he treated her and the lies that he told. It's going to disgust you. So you're going to hear from Maria Plant. Maria Plant, spelled Plante. 29-year-old from rural West Virginia, a state Donald Trump won by 42 points. Okay? She's a small business owner and loving caregiver for her nonverbal, autistic, and legally blind brother, Matt. Medicaid makes it possible for Matt to live at home with people who love him. Affordable Care Act tax credits make it possible for Maria to go to the doctor herself. The Republican healthcare crisis is threatening to crash them both. Here's Maria in her own words. Hold on.
My name is Mariah Plant. I'm 29 years old. I'm a small business owner, and I live in rural Wyoming County, West Virginia. I work full-time from home while also caring for my older brother, Matt, who, again, is legally blind, has nonverbal autism, and needs significant help with nearly every aspect of daily life. Medicaid is our lifeline in West Virginia. It pays for his medical care, his prescriptions, his eyeglasses, which are about an inch thick, and behavioral support, which are services that we could never afford on our own. Most importantly, Medicaid allows him to live at home, surrounded by people who love him, instead of at a facility where staff are often overworked and undertrained to care for people with complex needs. Like I said, my name is Mariah Plant. I'm 29 years old. Just last year in Preston County, West Virginia, a man not much older than my brother, who is also nonverbal and has lifelong developmental disabilities, lost his life in a facility like this because it was understaffed and underfunded, and the people in charge of his care left him in a scalding hot bathtub for an hour. When they found him, his skin has melted from his body, and he was deceased. He could not cry out in pain. He could not tell them that the water was too hot. He could not even struggle to get himself out of the tub on his own. And I think of that man every time I give my brother a bath. Caring for Matt in our home also saves the government thousands of dollars a year compared to what it would cost to house and care for an individual with similar care needs in a state hospital or assisted living facility. But now, on top of threats to Medicaid, my own health coverage is in jeopardy. I currently receive an enhanced premium tax credit, an EPTC, which reduces my monthly health insurance premium from $829, which is double my car payment, down to $218. Very manageable. That covers 77% of my annual premium cost, making it possible for me to afford coverage while caring for my brother. If these enhanced tax credits expire, my monthly premiums will nearly double, jumping from $218 to $388. That's a devastating hit for working people like me. And I'm not alone.
She's a working person. Okay, I want to remind you, MAGA, she's not an illegal immigrant. She's a working person out there working to try to keep her brother alive in a state that Donald Trump won by 42 points.
Americans across the country are opening letters from their insurers right now, learning that their premiums are skyrocketing because Congress has not acted.
Exactly.
We are facing an unprecedented healthcare crisis. Families are watching their costs explode in real time, and Democrats have been clear. They're ready to negotiate a bipartisan agreement to reopen the government and extend these tax credits so we can stop these massive premium hikes. But Republican lawmakers have to come up off the golf course and off the beach and sit down and negotiate in good faith on behalf of the hardworking Americans like myself who they were elected to represent. You may think that West Virginians are too poor or too uneducated to know when we are being sold a bill of goods, and maybe that's what they are counting on. But there is not one good thing in this bill for West Virginia, and we are not for sale. You may
42%. State of West Virginia, 42% Donald Trump won by. So if that does not make you angry, I don't know what's wrong with you. And again, Meg in the chat, you guys are here every single day. I will. Thank you, Emily. You guys are here every day. You love me. I know you do. That's fine. I mean, I get it. I understand. But this is what you guys voted for. And the MAGA conservative, the MAGA Republican government shutdown, that's on you. That's on you. 7 o'clock tonight, Tara. Thanks for the reminder. That's on you guys. These are your people, right? These are your people. These are your neighbors. This is you. This affects you. We've gone through the exercise of the ACA subsidies. Yeehaw! We went through the exercise yesterday of Obamacare subsidies, the ACA subsidies, and Medicaid, and we certainly know that the impact is going to, if it's 56%. Do I still have those stats? I want to make sure I get this exactly right. Hang on one second. I think that's the number. Hang on one second here. Somewhere I've got it. Give me a sec, guys. You've got to appeal this. You guys know what to do. Keep tapping and sharing, and yeah, you know. 56% of Obamacare, this is just the Obamacare side. 56% of the ACA marketplace enrollees are in districts represented by Republicans. 56% nationwide are in districts represented by Republicans, and 76% of those enrollees live in red states that voted for Donald Trump. Okay? This affects you more than it's going to affect us, and we're fighting for you. We're the ones that are fighting, saying this is going to screw you worse on the collective than it is us. And we're out here fighting for you. And you're cheering it on because we had somebody in our live yesterday. Oh, fucking illegals. You guys, what the fuck is wrong with you? What's wrong with you guys? What's wrong with you? Do you not understand? Can you not show, well, I know you don't have any empathy, but a West Virginia woman trying to bust her ass to care for herself and to care for her brother, her special needs brother, who she said, I can't put him in a care facility. It's going to cost the government more. And look what happened. Interesting. Mario, let's talk about it. How much taxes are you willing to pay? Let's talk about it. Good morning. How are you, Mario?
Good. How are you, buddy?
I'm fine. So you said, hey, host, how much taxes are you willing to pay more? Are you ready to pay 50% more in taxes? Is that so where do you come up with that 50% number?
Because I'm from Canada and we don't have free health care, but we pay almost 50% more taxes. So in order for you guys to have...
Hold on, Mario. Let's take it one at a time. So when you say you don't have free health care, do you not have a universal health care system in your country?
We have a universal health care, but we pay for it with our taxes.
Of course you do. But we also pay taxes here, and we don't have universal health care. In fact, we pay more
on a per
person basis. Yes, we do.
How much taxes do you guys pay there?
Well, it depends on where you live. We have federal taxes. We have state taxes.
Okay, well, in Canada, the average tax is over 47% taxes.
Right, but you get health care with that, Mario. So let me give you this.
Not really. Actually, we have studies right now that over like 100,000 people are losing health care because our health care is stretched thin because of all the taxes.
So Mario, you can't lose something unless you have it to begin with.
Yeah, but so when I go to the hospital now, I have to wait like 12 hours just to get seen because
I'm sorry.
It's overwhelmed.
Guess what? We have the same problem here.
I still have to pay. I still have to pay for stuff though.
What do you pay?
I have to pay for tests. I have to pay for specialists.
Really?
And I'm still paying over 47% towards my health care and taxes.
In your taxes. So let me give you a scenario, Mario. I don't think what you're saying is entirely true, but let me give you a scenario.
What do you mean? Okay? Look at Canada's healthcare. Look at Canada's healthcare is falling apart. We have a shitty healthcare.
I have. Hold on a second, Mario. Hold on a second. Okay, hold on a second. Let me give you the scenario. In your country, you pay your taxes that covers your healthcare. In our country, we pay taxes and we don't have healthcare.
But how much taxes do you pay? You guys pay like 20% taxes.
Mario, let me finish. Take a deep breath.
Let me finish. I'm good.
Okay. In our country, we pay taxes and we don't get health care. So a Medicare for all and or a universal health care model would mean that we would pay a little bit more in taxes, but we'd save money because of what we pay for now. One of the biggest reasons we have such a high burden on our healthcare industry is because so many people in our country are not insured. To the person sitting above you now is our friend Benny. Benny is also a Canuck. So I would like to have Benny and you have a conversation about your healthcare system because I don't think Benny is. Hold on, hang on, Mario. I don't think Benny is going to agree with what you said. Okay.
Okay, I have something to say though. Do you know that the average Canadian will travel to Buffalo to do an MRI because we can't get an MRI in Canada for like 6 to 8 months?
Depends on what it is, right?
What do you mean? Benny. Unless you're like fatally dying, but if you have a knee problem that you haven't been able to walk for like 3 months. You're not going to get an MRI unless you go to Buffalo and pay out of your own pocket. What do you mean, where?
Where?
In Ontario.
Where in Ontario?
What do you mean, where in Ontario? You can go to the hospital. The hospitals are overwhelmed. We pay 50% more taxes than everybody else, and our healthcare is shit, bro. Look up Canada. You guys are advocating for universal healthcare, but universal healthcare is shit. Because you're gonna have like 8 to 12 hour wait times.
Mario.
Take a deep breath, Mario. Deep breath.
Deep breaths here, buddy. Okay, take it easy. So, I'm not saying that our healthcare is perfect by any stretch of the word, but what I will say is that when I have to go to the doctor for my knee appointments, when I have to go for my chronic illnesses, the most I have to pay for is $15 for parking. I'm not putting myself in debt just to get looked at, just to get checkups.
I understand
I'd say
that.
That's a pretty decent system.
I understand that, but the average American has healthcare, no? With they have a private healthcare.
No,
Mario.
No.
You can pay for it. You can pay for it if you're working, right?
Mario, I'm still talking. Okay, Mario.
Think about what you just said, Mario. Go ahead, Ben.
So, I understand that, yes, there are wait lists. I get that. There are a lot of people in our country who don't have a family doctor. It's not a great situation. We are hurting in those areas. But because of what's been going on in the States, we've had an influx of healthcare workers coming from the U.S. up into Canada. Again, not a perfect system. But I'd certainly like it a lot better than what they have in the U.S. If you are somebody... Sorry,
go ahead, Benny. Go ahead.
Okay. I was saying that if you do happen to be someone who is flush with cash and you would prefer a privatized system, I'm not judging you. Look, if that's within your means and you can make that work, cool. I'm not judging you. But unfortunately, not everybody is in that situation. Not all of us have the money to spend.
So Mario, let me give you a scenario, okay? You and I could have let's assume you're in Toronto. Notice how I said it properly. You're in Toronto and I'm in Boston, okay? And we have the exact, let's assume that we're the same age. Let's say we're 55 years old, okay? And we have the exact same condition and we have the exact same the exact same treatment plan. You walk into a hospital in Toronto. I walk into a hospital in Boston. Who's going to get a bill?
It depends. If you have insurance, you pay for your insurance, and you're paying cheaper healthcare. No, don't you guys have insurance there?
Exactly. But think about what you just said. We have to pay for the insurance.
So you don't think I pay for healthcare?
You pay it through your taxes. The argument I'm making for you, Mario, the argument I'm making for you, Mario, is that yes, you pay in more taxes, but our costs out of pocket are more than what the tax increase would look like. And we don't get the coverage. So there's tens of millions of Americans in our country that cannot afford health care or that do not have it. We have a for-profit healthcare industry. You do not. I would gladly pay more of my taxes because I know I would save thousands of dollars annually. And I'm still going to wait for things. You're not going to have to wait. Benny, do you have to wait for emergency services?
Yes.
No, you don't.
What do you mean no?
I didn't ask.
Where are you from, Benny?
I didn't ask you, Mario. I asked Benny.
Where's
I said
Benny
emergency
from?
service. I said emergency services, Mario. Emergency services.
We have to pay for ambulance.
You do?
Yeah.
Is that
in Ontario?
True,
you have to pay for an ambulance. If you call an ambulance and you're not retired, you have to pay for an ambulance.
I can't confirm either.
I haven't paid for it if I have any kind of if you have coverage through, say, your place of employment. Yes, you can get that covered. He's not technically wrong though. If you don't have any kind of coverage, you would have to pay for the ambulance. I do admit that is something that is a thing.
I went to an eye specialist and I had to pay almost $1,000 for tests, and I have free health care, and I pay taxes, and I had to pay for tests for what? To do eye exams.
The problem. So Mario, I'm not saying you're a liar, but we can't prove that. If that would be your own story, it's what's referred to as an anecdote.
Special tests are not covered.
Okay, Mario. I'm asking you to think about this more on a global basis. Canadians have access to health insurance. Americans don't. We have to pay for it. We either have to pay for it through our employer, we either have to pay for it through the ACA, or we receive it through Medicaid, which we get through our taxes. Millions of Americans are not covered, which is part of the reason that we pay so much. This is the argument that I want to make, and I want you to hear. We live in a for-profit healthcare industry.
I understand that.
So that's first of all, that's diabolical to begin with. So the question I would ask you, Mario, is that would you give up what you have in Canada for the U.S. system?
Yes, 100%. In a heartbeat.
Dude,
because
you have no idea.
I'll tell you why.
Why do you live
here? Hey, Benny, where you live, Benny? Where you live?
Wow.
I'm not telling you that.
Okay, which province, more or less?
Wow.
I'm in the Maritimes.
In the Maritimes. Okay,
wow.
Did you see the study in Canada that said that in the last 2 years that over 70,000 people died waiting for hospitals and waiting for special care?
Here's the thing that you have to understand.
But that's because you flood the system with all these people with healthcare, and then you're not going to get service.
Hey.
Hold on, I'm talking now. You guys talked.
No.
I paid $50,000 in taxes almost.
Mario,
if I want to go to the doctor, I'm going to die there.
Mario, you asked him a question. Let him answer.
When you compare those results to what happens in the U.S., the reason you don't see those numbers in the U.S. is because people aren't going to the doctors and they're just dying at home. So that's why those numbers look less. People are still dying, but they're just doing it at home in the United States.
So Mario, what I've decided to do now is that we've got another Canadian also talking about your system, and I've brought up my friend Jen, who happens to be a nurse. So she is in the American healthcare system. So I know that she's going to have some perspectives on this, and I'm hoping that you can try to listen to learn, Mario, because I really think if you were pressed and had to choose between the Canadian healthcare system and the U.S. healthcare system, I know that you're biased right now, but I guarantee you 10 times out of 10 you would choose the Canadian healthcare system.
Do I have the option to do insurance if I went to the U.S.?
Do
you have the option to do insurance?
You got to pay for it.
Yeah, exactly. I'll pay for it. It's probably cheaper than paying all that taxes.
Right.
It's not. It's not even close.
What do you mean it's not?
Mario, it's not. Okay. Mario, let me ask you a question. In Canada, if somebody is diagnosed with cancer, are they ever asked to pay for their services or die?
Some stuff they have to pay for, yeah.
But they would never be asked to, like, they would never ever lose every single thing that they have, including selling their home because they have cancer, right?
Okay, so like, let me ask you something.
Just answer the question. Just answer the question.
Answer the question, Mario.
Well, no, because we have healthcare,
exactly.
but our healthcare is
Exactly. So hold on a second. You do understand that that happens to tens of thousands of Americans every year from if they are diagnosed with cancer or they get into a massive accident, they have a stroke, something like that. Their healthcare costs are so high, they have to sell their home and lose every single thing that they've ever worked for in their entire life because of it. That happens in America.
I understand
every
that.
day.
But
doesn't happen in Canada,
the working people who pay for insurance, does that happen to them?
Yes, it does.
Yes.
So you're paying for insurance and you get no coverage.
So we have what's something called as a lifetime max in the insurance. So for example, if someone gets into a massive car accident and they spend, 3, 4, 5 months in the hospital, they could very easily max out their healthcare benefits in the hospital and aftercare, making them responsible for the rest of their balance of their care for the rest of their life.
Yeah, and I think, and I'm glad you said that, Jen, and somebody said this, Tiff, you're right. I don't think you understand how our system works, Mario. Okay, I don't think you understand how it works. Like, you don't, if you leave a job, do you think the Americans are just walking around and have insurance? Like, we can just buy insurance off the marketplace? Is that what you think?
Well, if you have a job, you can afford it. You should be able to afford it.
Okay, well, let me, okay.
Because you guys pay lower taxes. You guys pay lower taxes.
Hold on. Take a deep breath, okay? We're trying to help you out here, all right? If some companies, depending on the company's, revenue and how many employees they have, some companies offer insurance as a benefit to their employees. It doesn't mean the employees get it for free. You pay in through premiums, money deducted from your paycheck, usually every 2 weeks. And then there are deductibles that you have to meet. And then there are caps and maxes that you have to meet. So not only do we only get insurance through our employers unless you want to buy private insurance, which is ridiculous, or you buy into what's called the ACA marketplace, there are still all kinds of costs that we have to pay. So here's the model. In America, right, here's the patient, and here's Jen on the caregiver side. In between that are a whole bunch of other people and a whole bunch of other programs that are taking your money. In Canada, here's you, here's the doctor. How much is in between?
I don't know. I don't know what you're trying to say, to be honest. I didn't understand.
Are you aware that there are companies in the United States that encourage healthcare workers to cut corners so that they save money and are incentivized at the end of the year?
You don't think that happens in Canada?
No, I didn't ask you if it happens in Canada.
Well, it's the same thing.
I'm
paying taxes and I'm getting shitty healthcare.
Yeah, but you
shitty.
100% shitty. Do you know how many people have died waiting for healthcare? There's a family in Oakville.
Here?
Hold on, there's a family in Oakville.
Mario, we can't.
Can I say something? You guys been talking. Can I say something?
Mario, no, we can't use anecdotes because we can't confirm or deny it.
What do you mean? You can look it up. It's in the news. It's in the Ontario news.
It doesn't matter. That's anecdotal. It doesn't matter.
What do you mean it's in the news? The guys, they're suing because the hospital, they died waiting in the waiting room.
Mario, can you tell me what you had for breakfast today?
I didn't eat breakfast yet.
Good. Nobody gives a shit. I'm done. We tried. For folks listening, it's really important to know, especially those of you, I know most of you guys know this because of you're the smartest chat on TikTok, but I think there was just a series of lies that Mario was telling. I don't think he knows anything about, and I'm glad he doesn't know anything about the American healthcare system, because if he had it, he'd be like, holy fuck, this is fucked. I mean, and Jen, would you confer that my opinion of the American healthcare system is that it's fucked?
It's fucked. It's fucked. Yeah. It's really fucked. Yeah.
And then somebody made a comment.
People shouldn't be profiting off the health of other people.
Exactly right. A for-profit healthcare system is completely crazy. Thank you for jumping in, Jen. I appreciate you very much, as always.
Bye.
Bye. See you later. Benny, thank you for being there, buddy. Thank you for being our resident Canadian to jump in. I know you and I have had conversations about Maple MAGA. Seems like we just found one.
Yeah, the thing with Mario, honestly, dude, if you're going to go on about Canada like that, then leave. And you know what? Keep my country's name out of your fucking
Yeah, and again, Mario, I just don't think you understand the system. Like I've asked this question to people, and we complain about our healthcare system. I know Betty complains about the Canadian healthcare system because nothing's perfect. But would you give it up? The answer is you wouldn't. Because if you lost the job that you were on while you were talking to us, you would still have insurance. You would still have it. Millions of Americans here that if they lost their job, they would not. They would have to go out and buy it. So you're already ahead. And I think on average, Medicare for All would save the American family on average between $5,000 and $7,000 annually. Even if taxes went up. Even if taxes went up, you'd still save money and you'd get insurance. Tell you what, Mario, let's trade places. I'll go live in your country for a year. You live here. We'll both go to the doctor. At the end of the year, we'll compare receipts. How about that? Benny, final thoughts, buddy?
This is a bit of a side note I just wanted to bring up just because it was in the news, and I don't know if you wanted to bring it up at some point, but a House Resolution 5518 was being introduced by Republicans. Basically, it means that the U.S. wants to allow Border Patrol and officers to operate more freely on Canadian soil. So Border Barbie and her boys brigade want to be able to operate ICE across our borders and on our soil, which, honestly, this is fucking dangerous.
Well, I fish in boundary waters. I mean, I shouldn't say this out loud now. I fish in boundary waters in northern Vermont, and I cross the border all the time. And I see Canadians doing the exact same thing because the boundary waters have really good fish. So I'm hoping to run into Christy Nome up there and talk to her about that. I'd be glad to.
All I'm going to say is like, look, if ICE officers think that they can just come into our borders and rip people out of their homes, and zip tie children and pepper spray people, look, we're not going to get aggressive. We're going to give you the first can of soup free. And then we're going to give you the second one. And here's the thing about the second one. The flavor explodes right in your mouth. Really pops.
I appreciate you, buddy. Go for it. Sign off.
Hey, folks. I just want to say thank you for being here. Steve, pleasure as always. And as I always say, elbows up. Keep your stick on the ice. Take care, folks.
Thank you, buddy. It's hockey season. See ya. So just an interesting conversation, right? I mean, it's a what's the old expression? I don't know. Disillusioned is the best I can say. Just completely disillusioned. Okay. Got a lot of folks that have requested. Let me try to get back to some of the topics I wanted to cover off on today. We've got a lot to cover, but thank you all for being here. Let me just check in really quick. Keep tapping, keep sharing. Tapping is clapping, sharing is caring, liking is loving. Don't forget, somebody made a comment about this. Drink coffee, fight racism, empower women. Available in the merch store. Go check it out. Courtney, thank you for your kind contribution. Courtney says we pay. Hold on, let me get this. What did you say, Courtney? Can't read your comment for some reason. That's weird. We pay $10K a year for insurance. You broke your ankle. Why can I not read it? That's weird. I can't read your comment for some reason. It's cutting it off. Anyway, thank you. I'm sure you're trying to make the argument to say why it's much better to have Canadian healthcare or any country that prioritizes their citizenry. This is the basic truth that we always talk about all the time. Nations who have committed to universal healthcare models or whatever that might be, prioritize their citizens' health. We don't. And the MAGA Republican government shutdown is proof positive of that because people's cost will go up. And it's on them. They can open the fucking government tomorrow. Plain and simple. All right. Thank you, Courtney. Thank you, Michelle. Let me go over here and just double check a couple things real quick. Thank you, Maria. Love you, Facts. Thank you. Love you too, friend. Appreciate you very, very much. Cindy, I'm not going to read that comment, Cindy, because I will blush like crazy. So, but thank you. I appreciate you very much. Oh my God. Okay. Put that right there. All right. Thank you for that, Betty. Thank you for Jen for jumping in. Okay. Let me get back on to the schedule here, right? So we've got reporting about the government shutdown, and we know that MAGA Republicans have been lying. And then we've got people like Marjorie Taylor Greene who are going on the record dissing on her own party. And I think it's really telling. Again, like I said before, I'm not going to cheer her on because of the horrible things she has said about people and just her racism, but she's right. At the end of the day, it is her job and any elected official's job to represent their constituencies. Right? Okay, Whitty, I will. Sorry. Thank you for what you do. I have lupus, and without Medicaid, my disease would unalive me. I'm so scared. I have panic attacks daily at the moment. Thank you for what we do. I appreciate you. I'm sorry to hear that. That's incredibly horrible. So this is Marjorie Taylor Greene speaking about what we're talking about today. Because, again, I want to remind everybody, the MAGA Republican government shutdown is to protect predators who've assaulted kids. Period. Because as soon as the House is back in session, and by the way, Mike Johnson does not need to have the House in session to swear in Rep-elect Grijalva. Doesn't. He could do it himself. Ironic. Hold on. Okay, we'll talk, Amber. I appreciate you. All right, this is MTG. I'm a little flustered by that comment, so I got to get back in the game here. Okay, here we go.
Actually putting the blame on the speaker.
Hold on. So this is who she blames.
Actually putting the blame on the speaker and Leader Thune in the Senate. This should not be happening. And I don't think, look, as a member of Congress, we already have a low enough job approval rating. This shutdown is just going to drive everybody's approval rating that much lower.
But so you're putting the blame on the leadership of your party.
Absolutely. We control the House. We control the Senate. We have the White House. I've been vocal saying, you can use the nuclear option in the Senate. This doesn't have to be a shutdown. But what we have to do is we have to work for the American people. I'm actually putting the blame on the speaker.
That's the whole ball game. And friends, if those of you who don't know, I know you guys know this, and MAGA Republicans, you may not know this as well because you keep holding on to the filibuster. I'll remind you, there's this thing in the Senate. It's called the nuclear option. John Thune just used it a few weeks ago to appoint cabinet positions and ambassadorships and sub-cabinet positions. If he wanted to do it, he could do it. So you're being lied to. You're being lied to. It's not a clean CR, and I'll explain that in a minute. I'm just going to play some additional sound from MTG here because it's more telling. And I'll be right back.
And to allow Democrats to have some sort of moral high ground on this issue because they're the only ones talking about it, I think is a major failure from the Republican Party, and I'm not going to stand there and just keep talking the talking points when my own adult children can hardly afford health insurance premiums, when everyone in my district, it's the number one issue that I hear about day in and day out, not just people on the ACA, but people that have private insurance as well. And I think it's something that we have to talk about. And I don't see why the government needs to be shut down. I really don't. I believe that if Republicans learn to govern and wield power, they can use the nuclear option in the Senate. They can open up the government. We can get back to work for the American people, and Republicans can solve this problem that is a very big problem that we can't ignore.
Well,
and to allow.
So she's right at the end of the day, right? I mean, she's right. And what's really disturbing is we've gone through the exercise. 56% of congressional districts represented by Republicans are on the ACA. 76% of those people are in states won by Donald Trump in 2024. This is going to affect you more than it's going to affect us. It's going to affect everybody. And this is why I say Democrats, liberals, progressives, commies, Marxists, whatever it might be, people on the left, we care more about your children than you do. We care more about your communities than you do. We care more about the cost of your groceries, even though it's an old-fashioned word, than you do. We care more about this shit than you do. So if you don't want to participate in democracy, then just get out of the way and we'll fix it. We don't need you because you've been lied to. You've been told that illegals are getting insurance. You're just wrong. You want to think it's true because your dear leader told you so. The same guy who person, woman, man, camera, TVs his way through life. The same guy that thinks, well, this shit. Here we go. Trigger warnings.
Let this go. If we didn't win this election, if we had these people that were running, that were ruining our country, destroying our country with their open borders and men playing in women's sports and transgender from everybody and windmills all over the place, if we allowed that to go on for another couple of years, we would be, I'm not sure that we'd even have a country. But if
that guy. That's the guy that you're trying to believe is looking out for you. That guy. That guy. That guy. So I'm going to play this. There was this really interesting moment. There's a C-SPAN hosts platform. I think it's in the morning. I think it's like a morning show. I'm going to start watching it more. Where they have an elected official. Usually it's a relatively prominent elected official. In this case, it was Mike Johnson. They have a Republican call-in line, they have a Democratic call-in line, and they have an independent call-in line. So Mike Johnson was being questioned by a military family, a military mom and wife. And I just want you to hear her story, okay? Okay, I want you to hear her story. She's a Republican. I want you to hear her story, and I want you to hear his answer, okay?
Republican line, Fort Belvoir, Virginia. Samantha, you're on with Speaker Johnson.
Hi, Mr. Johnson. So my question or comments are related to what you said yesterday about not being open to pass any legislation to ensure that military gets paid. I'm sure you can tell by my voice I'm very shaky. Just want you to hear a little bit about my family. I have 2 medically fragile children. I have a husband who actively serves his country. He suffers from PTSD from his 2 tours in Afghanistan. If we see a lapse in pay come the 15th, my children do not get the medication that's needed for them to live their life because we live paycheck to paycheck. I heard you earlier say that you side with President Trump on anything that he says. Well, I just read an article this morning that said he absolutely wholeheartedly believes that there needs to be legislation put in so that we do not miss a paycheck. You have the power to do that. And as a Republican, I'm very disappointed in my party, and I'm very disappointed in you because you do have the power to call the House back. You did that, or you refused to do that just for a show. I am begging you to pass this legislation. My kids could die. We don't have the credit because of the medical bills that I have to pay regularly. You could stop this, and you could be the one that could say military is getting paid. And I think that it is awful, and the audacity of someone who makes 6 figures a year to do this to military families is insane.
All right, Samantha.
Samantha, I'm so sorry to hear about your situation. The reason I've been...
2 things. First, the fact that military families have to live paycheck to paycheck is one thing. That's fucking criminal. And then she's absolutely fucking right. He could call in the House tomorrow. He could write the legislation himself. He could say this is a clean piece of legislation to guarantee that the military families are getting paid during the government shutdown. He could do it right fucking now. And he won't do it because if the House is in session, he's going to have to swear in Grijalva, and then she will be the 218th signature on the discharge petition. That's what we're talking about here. Listen to his bullshit answer.
Been so angry this week, and they've been calling me out on media. Johnson's angry. I am angry because of situations just like yours. I have a big military district, and my district is the home of the Global Strike Command at Barksdale Air Force Base and Fort Polk, the Joint Readiness Training Center. I have one of the biggest military districts and military families in America. I have a lot of airmen and soldiers who are deployed right now, and they have young families at home, and they have children in health situations like yours. This is what keeps me up at night.
Oh, really?
I want you to hear something very...
This keeps you up at Mike? Up at night, Mike? You fucking pathetic hypocrite. This keeps you up at night, you motherfucker? What keeps you up at night is protecting your boss, who's on the fucking list. That, you think this keeps you up at night? If it kept you up all night, you fucking pathetic coward, then you would literally gavel the House in session tomorrow. tomorrow. You're fucking pathetic.
Clearly, the Republicans are the ones delivering for you. We had a vote to pay the troops. It was the continuing resolution 3 weeks ago. Every single Republican but 2 voted to keep the government open so that your paycheck can flow. Every Democrat in the House, except for 1, voted to close it. The Democrats are the ones that are preventing you from getting a check. If we did a vote on the floor, pay troops, it's not a lawmaking exercise because Chuck Schumer is going to hold that up in the Senate. He is demonstrating by voting.
Then prove it, you fucking coward. Put Democrats on blast. Go behind your podium. Say, what kept me up all night was writing legislation to ensure that military families are paid during the government shutdown. That's what kept me up all night. This is a clean bill. It's a page and a half. All it says is that we want to guarantee that during the government shutdown, that members of the military get paid. And if you don't think the Democrats will vote for it, then fucking prove it, you pathetic piece of shit. Then fucking prove it. You are lying to a Republican voter. You are lying to a military family. You are lying to her. You're fucking lying, and she called you out. And you pathetic, fucking, hypocritical coward, you're lying to her. I want people to remember in Louisiana, if you voted for this guy, if it's true that he represents a district that's got massive amounts of military in the district, I want you to hear what he just said. He lied to you. He flat out lied to you. He doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't give a fuck about you. Doesn't care at all about you. So when notice he doesn't go to town halls. So if you want to, listen, if I get on the road, I'm going to his district. I'm going to camp out there. I'm going to find out what his at-home schedule is, and I am going to hammer him. That is so fucking disgusting.
Now 6 times to keep the government closed that he does not want the troops to be paid. And you should listen to his comments last night as reported this morning. He is enjoying this. He said every day gets better for us, quote unquote. Chuck Schumer and the Democrats are preventing your family from getting the care they need, not Republicans. And my heart goes out to you.
And just so you know, Politico...
Your heart goes out to her? Fuck you.
...is reporting that House Democrats are preparing a letter to you, Speaker Johnson, urging a vote on troop pay.
Yeah, you know why they are? Because they all voted on the record 3 weeks ago to stop pay for the troops. They're desperate to try to get on record.
They did
but
not.
That would be a show vote for Democrats. They do not care about it. They demonstrated that with their votes. Look at what they do and how they vote, not what they say.
On the
Again, did you catch that little bit? Democrats like, listen, we're ready to go to the floor with this simple bill to make sure that the military families get paid. And his answer is, that's not true. It's just a show vote. Then prove it. Then prove it. And Mike, we know why you won't do it. This is you. We know why you won't do it. Because you don't want to swear in a duly elected representative that you could swear in right now. Right now. You don't need, your argument is, well, there should be pomp and circumstance, it should be ceremonial. I have a feeling that Rep-elect Grijalva doesn't give a fuck about the fanfare. She was elected to represent a district in Arizona. She won by 45 points. She wants to do the work of the people, the House of Representatives. She wants to go there and represent her constituents. And she wants to be a voice for survivors of Jeffrey Epstein and your fucking boss. And all she wants you to do is swear her in so she can sign the discharge petition so we can get all the information that you've been covering up. And you won't swear her in. And you'll lie to a military wife and family. You'll lie about it in an attempt to try to deflect. And voters in your district, sadly, will fucking believe it. So let's talk about Mike a little bit. Mike's on my radar today, by the way. There's reporting, and I've covered this story, but not sort of in detail. Mike Johnson, this is reporting from Rolling Stone from a couple years ago. Mike Johnson admits that he and his son monitor each other's corn intake in a resurfaced video. Quote, "I'm proud to tell you, my son has got a clean slate," the House Speaker says of his accountability partner. Speaker of the House, Hold on a second. Shit, did I lose this? I got to read this. I'm about to subscribe. So give me a second. I must have lost my subscription. I know this is riveting, right? Got it. Okay. Yep. Got that. Yep. Okay. Got it. Shit. I can't do that. Mods, anybody have a sub to Rolling Stone? Let me send this link. Hang on a second here. It's not letting me do it, and I don't have my wallet with me. Here, I'm going to post this in the chat. And I'll go back to that reading, and if my mods have a sub, I will pay you back. You guys know that. Okay, so let me go to the other story, because there's more. Mike Johnson also has what's referred to as a covenant marriage. Okay? A covenant marriage. Newly elected Speaker of the House and Shreveport native Mike Johnson and his wife Kelly joined in a covenant marriage in 1999. But what, you ask, is a covenant marriage? I wasn't sure about this. I'm like, what the fuck is this? If you're having trouble in your marriage, this is a quote, if you're having trouble in your marriage and you're going down the road of divorce, now you have to go seek counseling, said Mary Winchell, attorney at Winchell Law Firm, LLC. Louisiana is one of 3 states that recognizes covenant marriages, passing the first law in 1997. Shortly after, Arkansas and Arizona followed suit. According to the Louisiana Department of Health, covenant marriage is when couples choose to enter a marriage in which they agree to be bound by 2 significant provisions on obtaining a divorce. Covenant marriage stipulations. The couple must agree to seek marital counseling if problems develop during their marriage, and a couple can seek divorce or legal separation if there is an adultery, physical or sexual abuse, or to the spouse or the children, and then habitual use of alcohol or drugs and commission of a felony. When entering a covenant marriage, couples must sign a declaration of intent. This declaration provides that a husband and wife live together forever. Both parties have disclosed everything that could adversely affect the marriage. The parties have received premarital counseling, and the couple will receive counseling if difficulties arise. Winchell said you still have to deal with all the same issues that you would have to deal with in a regular divorce. However, a key component to covenant marriages is the time in which it takes to get legally separated or divorced. Winchell said you are really just prolonging the issue. To obtain a legal separation, a couple must live separate and apart for 2 years. For spouses to get a divorce, they have to live separate and apart for 2 years, or the spouses are legally separated and have lived apart since the legal separation for 1 year and 6 months if there's a minor child of the marriage, 1 year if the separation was granted for abuse of a child and the spouse. So, Mike Johnson Here's the sound that I wanted to play. This speaks to what I was just discussing as far as he and Mike and his son are each other's corn partners. You notice we've not heard from his son, and I don't know why we should. We don't need to. But Mike said his son has a clean bill of health. And I'm not judging. Look, you want to search your corn up, knock yourself out. Knock yourself out. Go for it. As long as it's consensual, I don't care. This is Mike Johnson being asked about this relationship that he has with his son and covenancy and et cetera, et cetera. So here you go. This is fucking wild. This is the guy who's holding up this
within your home. Okay. And so why is that such an effective tool? Why do parents need to put this into their home?
Yeah, that's great. Great question. We probably could have called this more appropriately a war on the darkness of technology, because there are some good things with technology, of course. I mean, the Bible apps we all love. We broadcast our services, on our social media, and there's some very positive things, but there's also, as Clint's pointed out aptly, some really dark things. So Covenant Eyes is the software that we've been using a long time in our household. I first learned about it at, I think, a Promise Keepers event in the early 2000s. I think it was developed in about the year 2000. But it's the largest accountability software that there is, and there's some paperwork out there on the table that I think everybody may have picked up on the way in. If not, go get it. It's a subscription-based. I mean, we don't make any money on this. I'm telling you, we use it. Okay, I'm endorsing it because I'm a user.
So
it's about
fucking
$15 a month, $16 a month, something like that. You get up to 10 devices, and what it is accountability software. So men in a church, men's Bible study groups will do it. That's how it's presented at Promise Keepers. But they also mention, hey,
there's quite the tell there. Men's Bible study groups, we of course find out every single day that some other member of the clergy has abused a kid. Robert Morris used to be Donald Trump's spiritual advisor, or one of his spiritual advisors, was raping a 12-year-old girl for years, got sentenced to 12 years in jail, is only going to serve 6 months. So yeah, that tracks.
Hey, when your kids become teenagers, especially if you have boys, dads, they're talking to the guys at this event, you might want to think about doing this with your sons. And so we've been doing that. And so what it does real simply is it has an algorithm and software. It's way above my head how it works, but it scans. You obviously opt into it, but it scans all the activity on your phone or your devices, your laptop, tablet, what have you. We do all of it. And then it sends a report to your accountability partner. So my accountability partner right now is Jack, my son, right? And so he's 17. So he and I get a report of all the things that are on our phones or all of our devices once a week. If anything objectionable comes up, your accountability partner gets an immediate notice. I'm proud to tell you my son he's got a clean slate, all right? But
okay, your son has a clean slate, Mike, but what about you?
But we get a report and it says, hey, no activity of concern, and it's really sensitive. It'll pick up almost anything. It looks for keywords, search terms, and also images, and it will send your accountability partner a blurred picture of the image. So on occasion I get one. I was just looking at the one from this week I got on Jack, and it said, This is the only one that may be questionable, and it's this blurred image of two women talking in a live screen thing, and I zoom in and I have to unblur it.
Oh, Mike! Wait! What was that? Hold on a second. Wait.
The one from this week I got on Jack, and it said, this is the only one that may be questionable, and it's this blurred image of two women talking in a live screen thing, and I zoom in and I have to unblur it, and it's.
Okay, the app blurs the image for you automatically, and yet if the image is blurred based on the contract that you've signed as each other's mutual corn partner, okay, accountability partner, you get the notification, but then you could unblur the image, Mike. So wouldn't that then be you participating in something that you claim doesn't exist and or is considered questionable? Mike, let's hear that again.
Partner, a blurred picture of the image. So on occasion I get one. I was just looking at the
on occasion. Okay.
One from this week I got on Jack, and it said, this is the only one that may be questionable, and it's this blurred image of two women talking in a live screen thing, and I zoom in and I have to unblur it. And it's two middle-aged teachers with coming.
So mods, ignore the blurred images that I've sent you. Okay, I'm just going to say that. It's just fucking weird. Exactly, Free Jack. It's just so fucking weird. Right? And then somebody made a comment. A covenant marriage is almost impossible to get out of. I've been reading about it. I didn't understand. It's a contract, and it's almost impossible, depending on who's on your side, right? So his son is how do you have that conversation? How do you have that conversation? Listen, 17-year-old kid, here's the deal. You and I are going to be each other's corn partner. What, Dad? Yeah, don't worry about it. No big deal. And nothing to see here. So I'm going to put an app on your phone so I can spy on you. And, I'm not going to give you the same access to my phone as I'm going to give you to yours because I'm the adult. I have to worry about you. So this is what we're going to do. In case you come across anything that's considered questionable, the software is going to flag it, and then it's going to send it to me. And then I will unblur the image to see that it's okay. I might need 5 minutes alone to determine whether or not it's okay, but then we'll have a conversation. What the fuck is that? Holy shit. What? What? Covenant covenant marriages are huge in the South. Yeah, I've heard that, Sam. And what? Okay, hold on a second. Thank you, Jen. I just can't do it on at the moment here. Hold on a second. Let me do this. I want to read the story because there's more to it, and we're going to call out this motherfucker. We are going to call him out. Hang on a sec, guys. Just bear with me real quick. Let me log in here. Hold on a second. It says, I'm going to touch that. Nope, not doing it. Not doing it. Let's see here. Why is it not letting me log in? I want to just beat up Mike Johnson today, figuratively, of course, because I'm nonviolent. Anyway, thank you, Jen. I appreciate that. If I can get that loaded up, I will. Or if somebody can, I can't, for some reason I can't load, it won't load from you guys. So if somebody can figure that out so I can read it, or even if it's just a matter of sending me the text of the article, I'd appreciate it. Thank you very much. All right, here it is. Is this working? Hold on. I don't know what's going on. It's weird. It won't let me. Here we go. Hold on. Stand by. Almost there. Almost there. I can't be everybody's corn partner. I'll do my best. Sure, I can. Why not? I'm game. Where is the other? Can you guys send me the? I'm sorry, guys. It's worth it to go through the story. I want to read it because it's part of what I wanted to cover today. Here we go. Got it. I'm good. You didn't take it. It's okay. I'll figure something else out. I just see Hector. It'll be a good chance for me to palate cleanse. That's so fucking wild that you create. Talk about no trust. You can't develop trust with your kids. You gotta use technology to whatever. That's so fucked up. Anyway, okay. That just throws me off because of what the hypocrisy from the Speaker of the House. It's ridiculous. Good morning, my dude. How are you?
I just got a good laugh. It's equally an entertaining and terrible thing to laugh at. But this
exactly right.
The software app of his blurred two women speaking, and I think that's the craziest thing about the app in general.
I know, but Hector, he wouldn't know they were speaking unless he unblurred the images.
Right? I think I'm kind of confused on that.
I'm not judging. Do your thing. Let your freak flag fly. No problem. I have no problem with sex workers. I have no problem with corn. Do your thing. Fucking love it. But my gosh, Mike, my guy.
In fact, I think you and I both know he has a secondary device that he uses for his shenanigans. It absolutely was used on those numerous days that RNC crashed. Not the RNC crashed. Grindr crashed. So that's a whole joke. But whatever gets blurred, he's just going to take a peek anyway. So I'm just
totally. Listen, I need to make sure everyone is safe from the corn. So I'm going to go in the other room. I'll be back in 4 minutes or a minute and a half or 25 seconds, and I'll let everybody know what I found.
It's my holy duty to unblur those photos.
It's my duty. That's right. It's my holy duty. Exactly right. That's exactly right. Wild. Holy shit.
Guys, see, this is why I come in here, guys. I come in here to learn things that I'm now going to go beat Trump supporters over the head with, figuratively speaking, of course, because telling Trump supporters that Mike Johnson has an app software that blurs women speaking is going to be one of my, greatest pleasures in life, because it is so implementive of exactly what they want for this entire country.
That's actually a good point. We need more ammunition.
We do.
Right?
We absolutely
do. But to me, it's the hypocrisy. I mean, you're listening to a military wife talking about how her family her kids are going to lose their life if they can't get their medication. And you've got this relationship with your kid that talk about no trust. But again, he's a good Christian. He's a good Christian man. Good Christian man. Nothing to see here.
One thing about the Democrats, they've talked about, we had Mark Kelly on Fox News, and then he was blasted by Trump. They talked about protecting the tax subsidies that give us all discounts off of our Medicare. They talked about the amendments that they want to protect people's pay and get them furloughed. And you have other people challenging it and saying, I don't think it's required. So it's really hard to push this point that they're making of Democrats when all these horrible things that happen when Democrats are happening. Despite this shutdown, we still want to make sure people are protected, and we want to open up the government as soon as humanly possible. There are people currently who are seizing this opportunity. There's a group out in California and a couple others across the states, those of you who didn't know this, who have then been hacking into Snap and stealing people's money. And based off the legislation that was passed right before Trump took office, courtesy of his administration, the government no longer refunds you or gives you additional money whenever your SNAP benefits are stolen. There was a family that I spoke to yesterday, big family that had the majority of their money stolen. They tried to call the office and they said, you don't get anything else until next month. We can't help you.
Oh my God.
And thankfully, we had some people come together and take care of them last night. But if it wasn't for us, this family would not have had nothing this month.
But Hector, we can't open the government, because if we do, then the Epstein list gets exposed.
Open the government and give them transgender for everyone? Are you crazy?
Oh, I know, right? Seriously. God, what the fuck timeline are we on, brother? Friends, if you don't follow Hector, first of all, I don't know why you don't. But speaking of snacks, Hector's a fucking snack. So do yourself solid and follow Hector, and then slide into his DMs or his lives later in the evening, because they're always so calm and chill. Dude, I fall asleep with you in my head so many times. So thank you for that, buddy. Appreciate you.
There's a reason why I can't be on camera when I'm up here. Y'all ever seen a plum turn red? That's me right now.
I love you, my dude.
Before I
talk to you
go,
later.
I'm going to do my shameless plug here. Guys,
go for it. Go for it.
Make sure that we are taking very good care of facts. Like I said, I come in here, I learn new things whenever he is live. Things that you're going to hear me literally later on say we're Trump supporters. So we greatly appreciate the information being shared here. Always support independent media in all the great ways that you can. And remember that Steve is our friendly neighborhood TikTok Richard Gere, okay? That's him. Make sure we take care of it. All right, love you, brother. I'll catch you later.
Love you too, man. See you later. Okay, I got the story here. All right, so let me go back to the beginning. Thank you, Mods. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson admitted that he and his son monitored each other's corn intake in a resurfaced clip from 2022 that I played for you guys. During a conversation on the war on technology at Benton, Louisiana's Cypress Baptist Church, unearthed by ex-user receipt Maven last week, the Louisiana representative talked about how he installed an accountability software called Covenant Eyes on his devices in order to abstain from internet porn and other unsavory websites. You needed the software to do that, Mike? Okay. It scans all the activity on your phone or your devices, your laptop, whatever you have. We do it, all of it. Johnson told the panel about the app. It sends a report to your accountability partner. My accountability partner is my son, Jack, who's 17. He and I get a report about all the things that are on our devices. It sends a report to your accountability partner. So he and I get the report about all the things that are on our devices once a week. If anything objectionable comes up, your accountability partner gets an immediate notice. I'm proud to tell you, my son is a clean slate. Outside of the creepy big brother-ness of it, Receipt Maven also aired concerns about whether Covenant Eyes, which is still a working subscription-based service, might compromise Johnson's devices if he's still actively seeking accountability. A U.S. congressman is allowing a third-party tech company to scan all of his electronic devices daily and then uploading reports to his son about what he's watching or not watching. Receipt Maven wrote, I mean, who else is accessing that data? That's interesting, Mike. Since he was elected Speaker of the House, Johnson's history as a faith-obsessed, election-denying, far-right Christian nationalist has come under the microscope from his time with anti-LGBTQ plus organizations Alliance Defending Freedom to his claim that school unalivings could be blamed on abortion and teaching evolution. In an interview on Fox News, Johnson was asked about his history on abortion, including claims that he was opposed to contraception and IVF treatment. Quote, I'm pro-life. I've said very clearly, I'm a Bible-believing Christian. I believe in the sanctity of every single human life. I've not brought forward any measure to address any of those issues. However, he didn't deny whether he would vote against contraception when the time came. Let's see. Is that the end of the story? I think that's it. Yeah. So there you go. It's fucking wild. It's just wild to me. It's just... I am so... What's this? Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, Hector. It makes me angry, not just because of the lies he's telling about the American public or telling to the American public about the reason that he's not opening the government because it's a lie. It's because what his background is. It's because who he claims to be. I don't have a corn partner. If you want to be, I mean, I guess we'll open up, we'll create a new Discord channel. It's the hypocrisy of it, right? It's the hypocrisy of it. Why the fuck would you want your 17-year-old son to be your accountability partner? Why your corn accountability partner? Why do you need a covenant marriage? Why? I know why. It's because you're a Christian nationalist fuck who is second in line to the presidency, who doesn't give a fuck about you. Elected, whatever congressional district he represents in Louisiana. Doesn't care. Doesn't care. Jesus. Another example of this is Marionette Miller Meeks, a swing district Republican, speaking to some of her voters. It's a very small setting, okay? A very, very small setting of which she's speaking to them. And it's pretty telling, right? So here you go. This is a person, by the way, who could sign the discharge petition if they wanted to.
I'm in a swing district. We have other members in swing districts. We took the hard votes on reconciliation. We've been beat to crap over what we did on Medicaid. You know, because you all have seen it. Bernie Sanders came here in February to attack me. Pete Buttigieg has been here to attack me.
Yeah.
They've been on broadcast.
Yeah.
They've been on radio. There are billboards all across the district.
Yeah.
They have had fake town halls all over. Even now, Barton is Cedar Rapids.
Fake town halls? They were real town halls.
Rapids Gazette. When's Miller Meeks going to hold in the town hall? When hell freezes over. I don't have to hold a town hall so you can come and yell at me.
What? What? You're an elected representative, Marianne. Your job is to represent people in your district. They voted for you to send you to Washington to vote in their best interests. And now you're mocking them? What?
I'm in a swing district. We have other members in swing districts. We took the hard votes on reconciliation. We've been beat to crap.
What the fuck?
Over what we did on Medicaid. You know, because you all have seen it. Bernie Sanders came here in February to attack me. Pete Buttigieg has been here to attack me. They've been on broadcast. They've been on radio. There are billboards all across the district. They have had fake town halls all over. Even now, Barton is Cedar Rapids Gazette. When's Miller Meek's going to hold in the town hall? When hell freezes over. I don't have to hold a town hall, so you can come and yell at me. So I'm in a swing district.
Sorry.
We have other members in swing.
I mean, it's amazing to me. You literally, so this is the point, right? This is the point. This summarizes so much. Mike Johnson, the corn buddy for his son, grinder crasher, multiple device user, guy who's got to sneak into the other room for 25 seconds to determine to unblur the images that his son sent him. That guy keeping the government closed by lying to the American public so that he doesn't have to swear in an elected rep from Arizona because that person will sign on the discharge petition. That guy has now made it possible for his base, his caucus in the House to be able to go back to their districts. But this lady's like, I'm not going to go back to my fucking district. Fuck that. I don't need to go there. They're just going to yell at me. Yeah, they're going to fucking yell at you because you're an elected representative. You don't just represent the people that you love in your district. You represent everybody. You are the representative of the district, which means there are independents, Democrats, commies, Marxists, fascists, Teletubby lovers, corn searchers, the entire kit and caboodle. Everybody in your district, you represent all of them. It is your fucking job to go back there and talk to them. And you won't because you're afraid you're going to get yelled at? Maybe it's because you're too afraid to face them. Furries, there could be furries there too. Yep, there could be furries there too. Come on. Whatever. Fucking cowards. They're all so pathetic. MAGA Republicans are such fucking cowards. Okay, let me check in here for a second. Mods, I'm listening to you guys today. I can't look at the comments so much or I would be bright red for the entire show. Hector, buddy, thank you, bro. You didn't need to do that. You're so kind, man. Hearts in the chat for Hector, please. Love that guy. Let's see here. Hector says, I'd unblur facts any day. Yeah, man, that's right, brother. That's right. I'd unblur you too. You snack. Thank you, Allie. Appreciate you very, very much. Leah, thank you. Megan, thank you so much. Good morning. We pay roughly $30K a year for insurance deductible. This is from Megan. We pay roughly $30,000 a year for insurance. Deductible is $1,500 each month. I had to pay $90,000 out of pocket for a jaw joint replacement because insurance didn't cover it. It was ambiguous because it was the jaw, not orthopedic or dental, so it got denied. That's real. And then I got another one from, I think this was Angela who said this before. I could read it. To my favorite, to my favorite snack. Thank you, Angela. I appreciate you very, very much. This is from Megan. Good morning, Steve. I just read that one. Yep, read that one. And then there's this one too. You guys are great. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate you. Okay. Anyway, you can tell I'm angry about this, and we all should be angry about this because you're just being lied to. You're just being fucking lied to. The government could be open right now. Mike Johnson could do what's called a pro forma session, and he could say, Rep. Grijalva, just meet me in the House chamber, and I'll swear you in right now. There's no reason that it can't happen other than they're protecting fucking predators. That's what they're doing. They're protecting fucking predators. These fucking Christian hypocritical fucks. Okay, let me turn down the temperature a little bit. I like to be spicy, but sometimes it's a little bit much because I lose my focus. All right, so Mr. Trump in that same cabinet meeting, we have to talk about this. This is a claim that he made about babies getting vaccines the size of 2 glasses of water.
So obviously there's something that's artificially, I think, induced, something, whether it's the vaccines in terms of these massive vaccines that are twice the size of a jar like that, of a glass of water like that. I mean, into a baby's body. And I've suggested get them in doses, get them in, maybe 20%, 30%, but smaller, not such a big. I think,
what the fuck?
So obviously there's something.
Are you fucking kidding me? Too much liquid? He pointed to a water glass. That's like, what, 8 ounces? What the fuck? What? And then you get Bobby. This is Bobby Kennedy. This is even better, okay? Because remember how we did the clown car yesterday, the clown car of incompetence? We didn't really find a seat for RFK. I mean, he could be driving, although he'd have to pull over for a whale carcass. He could be. It's hard to say, right? It's hard to say. So this is Bobby.
Also, there's many other confirmation studies. There's 2 studies that show children who are circumcised early have double the rate of autism. And it's highly likely because they're given Tylenol.
Okay, so children, baby boys who are circumcised get autism at double the rate? What? Huh? What was that again?
Also, there's many other confirmation studies. There's 2 studies that show children who are circumcised early have double the rate of autism. And it's highly likely because they're given Tylenol.
So keep the turtleneck, apparently. If you know, you know. But his argument to try to double down on autism is that the rate of autism for children who get circumcised is double because they were likely given Tylenol. Okay, but wait, there's more from Bobby.
Studies that show the countries that use the highest level of autism. Cuba has the lowest level in the world of acetaminophen use, and it has the lowest autism rate in the world. So this is not dispositive. It is not a proof. We're doing the studies to make the proof.
We're doing the studies to make the proof. That's the quote.
And studies that show the countries that use the highest level of autism. Cuba has the lowest level in the world of acetaminophen use, and it has the lowest autism rate.
He's talking about Cuba, saying that the lowest usage of acetaminophen in the world, and they have the lowest autism rate. Okay, whatever. But this part right here.
In the world. So this is not dispositive. It is not a proof. We're doing the studies to make the proof.
We're doing the studies to make the proof. That's not how science works. Do people understand how dangerous this is? I mean, you guys do, because you're the smartest chat on TikTok. And apparently the horniest, but that's fine. Sign me up. Anyway, that's not how science works. Do people understand how dangerous this is? We're going to make the proof. We're going to make the proof. So we're going to stigmatize moms. We're going to stigmatize parents of newborns. They're going to be red hat wearing traders fucks in the CVS in the local pharmacy, and a mom's got her newborn baby there, her infant, right, 2 weeks old, and she's walking down the pain reliever aisle, and she chooses acetaminophen, and she's going to get scorned, and she's going to get looked at, and she's going to get judged because of that guy, and because of our president saying the same thing. You don't go out and make the proof. You use the scientific method. You use research. You start at square one. You develop programs. You test it. You test it again. You test it again. And then the results of those tests are your proof. So fucking dangerous. It is so dangerous. Let me see here. Letitia James got indicted. I don't know if you heard that. But yeah, there's Jake Tapper was talking about it last night. Here's the clip.
A statement from New York's Democratic Attorney General Letitia James, a political adversary of President Trump who brought charges against him in 2022. She was just indicted by the Justice Department.
These charges are baseless, and the president's own public statements make clear that his only goal is political retribution at any cost. I'm a proud woman of faith, and I know that faith and fear cannot share the same space. And so today, I'm not fearful. I'm fearless.
Brand new video statement from New York's Democratic Attorney.
Bring it on. You think she sounds concerned? You think she sounds scared? You still think that this isn't weaponization, MAGA? You still think this isn't retribution? Here's a thought. Maybe your guy shouldn't have committed so many fucking crimes. Maybe people that are now part of this Operation Arctic Frost, which I'll get to you guys in just a second, because that's fucking hilarious as well. Maybe they shouldn't have committed crimes. Maybe they shouldn't have tried to defraud the citizens of New York. Maybe he shouldn't have, raped E. Jean Carroll. Maybe he shouldn't have, committed 34 counts of felonies by committing fraud, signing statements that weren't true. Maybe he should have done all that shit. But you just want to erase history by trying to blame people. You want to blame the black woman, Letitia James. You want to blame members of the squad. You want to blame Fani Willis, Kamala Harris. Pretty wild. And all of this is because Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. And people in his circle are protecting him. Period. Full stop. System built by people who look like me to benefit people who look like me to fucking protect people who look like me. All of them. It's unfucking believable how pitiful elected members of Congress are that are Republican right now. And they're reporting, and I've heard about this, and I've not been able to get confirmation, but you're starting to see some cracks, right? So what we're hearing is that if you could get this discharge petition signed, which you likely will, all right, then you're going to get a jailbreak from elected Republicans, because how can they be in opposition to this? How can they go back and face their voters and said, wait a minute, for years you guys told us that it was all about going after predators and sex traffickers and the worst of the worst. And then here we are. You've got an opportunity to do that, and you didn't vote for it? Exactly, TrumpFiles.org. And you didn't vote for it? We read the discharge petition yesterday. I've gone through and read the statements made by Katie Johnson in her lawsuit. We know the images. We know the pictures. We know the lies that he's been told, one line on top of another. So you're literally gonna say we're not gonna vote for that? So they're calling it like a jailbreak. You're gonna get like 100 Republicans. We don't know. You never know until we get there. But how are they gonna vote against it? How? You might get the hardcore, MAGA sycophants that are in Congress, the hardcore ones. You used to be able to put Marjorie Taylor Greene on that list. But this is what they are attempting to delay. This is what they're trying to do. This is why they're sending in troops unlawfully to places. This is why they're lying to you about creating that Antifa is a terrorist organization. Because they cannot run from this story, and they've expected by now the Democrats to fold, and the Democrats haven't. 202-224-3121. Again, that number, 202-224-3121. That's the congressional switchboard. If you're represented by a Republican, call them and demand that they sign on to the discharge petition. Demand it. Demand that they protect health care. Demand that they stop lying to the American public. If you're in a Democratic district, 202-224-3121. Call your Democratic rep. I had a great conversation with Becca Ballin's office yesterday. It was fantastic and inside baseball kind of shit, but that's what they're doing. They are united as a caucus. If you're represented by a Democrat, say stick to your guns. I understand. There's people in our community that are impacted by the government shutdown. I get it. I understand. But it's the only leverage we have to protect American healthcare. That's it. If you're represented by Mike Johnson, call him up and say, Mike, I'm a military family. Why aren't you bringing a piece of legislation to the floor right now that just guarantees that we get paid? 202-224-3121. 202-224-3121. That's the number to the switchboard. 202-224-3121. That's it. Call them. They're responding. They track calls as they come in. They don't think you'll do it. They don't think you will stand up. You can then tell your MAGA neighbors that I saved your health care. You can tell people in your communities that are on the ACA that you saved their health care. You can tell people who are military families in your district that you called your Democratic rep and you demanded that they get paid. This is just like we talk about, you guys. This is an example of doing something. This is what we talk about every single day. This is an example of doing something. 202-224-3121. Okay? Thank you for that. All right. So you think Letitia James gives a shit? She doesn't fucking care. She's like, bring it. Just like James Comey. Bring it on. Go to court with it. All right. And then there's a couple of elections that are coming close. Like the New Jersey governor election is Mikey Sherrill, vet, running up against this complete buffoon. And then Winsome Earl Sears is the Republican candidate for governor in Virginia. She's running against Abigail Spanberger. And for some reason, Republican officials don't understand how batteries work.
And wind. Well, if you look outside, the sun isn't shining and the breeze isn't blowing. And then what, Abigail? What will you do? Solar and wind. Well, if you look outside, the sun isn't shining and the breeze isn't blowing. And then what, Abigail? What will you do?
One more time.
Solar and wind. Well, if you look outside, the sun isn't shining and the breeze is...
And she'll get a lot of votes. I know, Hector. I know. And she'll get a lot of votes. I don't even know what to say. Like, I don't even know what to say. Like, what? 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 Okay. This is a little bit more from, I'm kind of bouncing around a little bit today just because there's a lot of stuff that I want to try to cover, but this is another snippet from Pam Bondi's testimony the other day. This is Lindsey Graham questioning her.
How many illegal immigrants are in Chicago?
So he asks how many illegal immigrants are in Chicago, asking the Department of Justice, the Attorney General, because that's been the argument, that it's loaded with illegals. We got to get ICE in there to round up all the illegals. So Lindsey Graham asks a question. How many illegals are in Chicago? Pam Bondi.
Does anybody know?
I do. Countless.
I do. Countless.
What we have seen since January 20th, Senator Graham, is a 1,000% increase in violent attacks against our ICE officers.
Right. But I just want to know, is there like 10 or 100,000? Does anybody know?
Like, you get... Lindsey's on your side, Pam. Lindsey's on your side. Can you just help me understand by, how many illegals are in Chicago? What I can't tell you, Senator, is since January 20th, we've had a 1,000% increase in violent crime. Oh, okay, cool. But how many illegals are there? Since you told us that there's a lot of illegals there. The walls are crumbling around them, friends, because they cannot stay on top of their lies. They are crumbling. This is Sheldon Whitehouse commenting on that hearing because he was part of that. And this is an interesting statement that Pam Bondi made.
Comey was indicted in the Eastern District of Virginia by, I may point out, one of the most liberal grand juries in the country.
How would you know the grand jury is liberal? How would you know?
What are your concerns about that indictment? Go ahead. You look ready to go.
Just how does a grand jury get to be liberal?
Exactly.
A grand jury is a group of maybe 20 or 30 people. It's brought in from the public at large. How do you know? How do you have the faintest idea what their political predilections are? 30 people in a ginormous state.
Predilections, good word.
Like Virginia. The fact that she could say something like that, which is a completely evidence-free characterization, it's like a small telltale of what a wonky hearing this was. Just weird.
Comey was indicted.
How would she know that? Do you understand, like, again, I know you guys get this. Do you guys understand that there is a concerted effort by people that are connected to this? That's a big word, concerted. An organized effort by people that are out there talking to you every day to focus on how fucking dumb you are. You understand that, right? Their strategy is they gather around the cauldron as they're dropping in Eye of Newton Batwing every single morning saying, okay, we've got them convinced that the Democrats have done this, even though it's us, because they're really dumb. So how many more dumb things can we say that they'll believe? Lindsey Graham, Ladybug, asks the question, how many illegals? That should not be a softball if you are literally telling your base every single day that there's illegals running rampant everywhere. They're all over the place. All the illegals are running all over the place. You get asked a question by somebody who's on your side and you can't answer. And then how will that get spun in their right-wing circles? All they'll play is that clip. We've seen violent crime increase by 1,000% since January, even though Chicago doesn't rank in the top 30 in violent crime. Okay, Pam. Okay, Pam. That's fine, Pam. Nothing to see here. We'll drive. Hey, Freedom. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I just first want to say this is by far the best in terms of experience your live with all the corn partnerships that we were developing here. So I just wanted to hit on that.
It's Friday. I mean, it's Friday night. I mean, everybody's going to have some fun this weekend. Apparently, let's knock yourself out.
Friday vibe.
Exactly.
Well, I wanted to. I don't want to take you out. Hey now, you're hitting on some really good stuff here, and I just really, when I requested it, it was about Mike and his experience with the. And so, briefly, my question to you is we're talking about from Mike's perspective, and I saw some people chatting here. It's like, imagine from the 17-year-old's perspective. First of all, even in that conversation, Dad comes to you and says, hey, this is something I'd like for us to participate in, blah, blah, blah. But then you see Dad go on TV and lay it out there.
I know.
What kind of it's almost abusive in some ways. And then
I know.
Let's just take it analog, from an analog perspective. I get my access from my uncle, right? I found his stash of mags in his box in the garage, right? But my dad wants me to write in a log every magazine I take out, right? I'm saying a weird scenario, just comparing it. And then my dad, upon seeing the logs, wants to have a discussion based on, I saw you took May's issue 1992. Let's discuss that. Are you into, it just, again, my brain just doesn't wrap around that. So it's just a lot of compensation for like what is dark inside of that, right?
Absolutely. I think that's the entire point right there.
Yeah.
Freedom, right? That's the entire point. The calls usually come from inside the house.
Yeah. And what's scary is that we have a government protecting that. And so
I know.
Where do we are we at the right level of freaking out? Like, when do we all just hit the streets? And I'm kind of circling the drain again back to the original call I made with you, which is like, I'm doing things. I'm calling my rep. Mike Bost is my rep. And it is crazy. We're at a point now, how much do we just stand by and have these conversations? I don't know. I don't know what I'm asking. But anyways, thanks for taking my call.
No, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. No, I know what you're saying. It's. I mean, we've got the No Kings protest, which is a week from tomorrow.
Right.
I don't want people to be afraid. I really don't. I want to encourage.
Are you going to that?
Oh, fuck yeah. I'm going to be man on the street. Yeah, absolutely. Like I did last time. Absolutely. Absolutely.
First time, so I'm doing it. Yeah.
I'm good. I mean, I'm safe where I am, right? If I have the time, I'm going to try to get over to New Hampshire so I can infiltrate that fucking chaos, that hellhole over there. That's my goal. But I want to encourage everybody. I understand everybody's circumstances are different. I'm a 6'2", 225-pound white man in America with a beard. I can assimilate anywhere. I'm not going to be a threat. But I'm going to use that fucking privilege. I don't expect everybody else to do the same. So please be cautious. But this is what we're talking about as far as people doing something. Peacefully protest. Express yourself. Be willing to be out there. And as white men, put yourself in between people who've been marginalized and harm.
Yeah.
Just fucking do it. Do it. Just
getting louder, I think, is the other piece for me. Is just I think here you're giving us the power in our voice. I heard Hector say it as well, which is like you're giving us these nuggets to just be able to stand strong on things when we talk to people on the other side. But I think now we're at a point where like getting louder in the streets with people, more people. That's where I'm at. I don't know.
I got you.
I'm going to Chicago is what my deal is. So I'm just kind of saying that. Yeah. And that's where I'm at.
Good.
So,
I appreciate you, buddy. Thanks for jumping in today. I appreciate you.
Weekend.
You got it, man. You too. See you later. I think somebody just said it. Be cautious, not fearful. And next week, I made a note to myself, actually. Next week, we'll kind of go through the latest updates on recommendations for attending music festivals, so to speak. But I'm going to be out there. Last time I went, it was great. I went to 3 separate events around our state. Managed to get up close and personal with Bernie. We'll do it again, depending on where you are, but I really want to try to get over into the hellscape it is Northern New Hampshire. So I will let people know where I am, because that's the spot where I want to go. Okay, AJ, I appreciate that. I might take you up on that. We'll talk about it. It's relatively safer down there. I think I would rather get up north of Concord and see what's going on up in that area so we can get a little bit of resistance from MAGA, but we'll talk about it. Anyway, that's coming up in a week. Those are examples of things that we could do. Okay. Few more things that I wanted to talk about today. This one is funny to me. It's not even saying it's funny, but this is wild. This is the president talking about Portland. Their obsession that they have with Portland. I'm going to play this for you. Hold on. Yes, Kipper, I know.
First in Portland, you don't even have stores anymore. They don't even put glass up. They put plywood on their windows. But most of the retailers have left. But
I know it's hard to hear, saying that Portland doesn't have stores anymore. Retailers put glass up on their windows. This is downtown Portland. This is a beautiful performing arts center. This is downtown Portland, like a beautiful little neighborhood with stores and restaurants. This is downtown Portland. It looks like a really cool little cafe, some clothing out on the street in front of the various stores. If you're in Portland, check out Black Wagon. Looks really, really cool. Here's another example of a beautiful downtown Portland place called The Meadow. The reason I wanted to share these pictures with you is because why would you lie about it? Who are you lying to? Who are you lying to? Do you think that people are going to believe you? You know what? I was going to go to Portland, but all the city's been boarded up. They got plywood over all the windows. Everything's closed because that Antifa, that terrorist organization, running around the streets. Here's a picture of a restaurant in Portland that I was at last night. That's fake news. What are we fucking doing, friends? Portland's a beautiful city. I used to live in Seattle. I used to go to Portland all the time. It's a beautiful city. One of the most stunning cities that we have in our country because of what's around it, views of the beautiful mountains, the coast. If you head to the coast of Oregon, Portland's fucking beautiful. So what the fuck are we doing, MAGA? Are you going to believe this too? You see what I mean? When we've got them in a vice now. Yes, Victoria, I said that. We've got them in a vice now. Okay? Because they've got nowhere to run. And I want to keep the fucking pressure on. I want to keep the pressure on. I want people to understand that this is just fucking nonsense. You can't sit there and say they have the president of the United States that nobody's going to Portland anymore. All the windows are boarded up. There's no stores. That's how desperate they are, you guys. That's how desperate they are. Yeah, exactly. Flying into Seattle, I completely agree. You're flying into Seattle, there's Mount Rainier, you see Mount Hood off in the distance, you see the Cascades, the Olympics, fucking beautiful shit. I love that. I love it, city. I love the Pacific Northwest. It's beautiful. One city block. There's been some uprisings. But the Antifa, the dinosaur costumed Antifa out in the street is apparently a threat. Meanwhile, you get Kristi Noem, who flew into the Portland airport, who apparently didn't seem too concerned when she's asked a simple question. This is really, really interesting because this defeats the narrative. So she got cornered by somebody who wanted to ask her a question.
All right.
You're safe.
You bet.
Secretary, what do you hope to accomplish by visiting Portland today?
We hope to have peace and secure some partnerships that will keep our officers safe and allow us to
keep our officers safe. That's interesting.
Enforce federal law.
Do you have any interest in speaking to Portlanders for an objective view of the situation here?
We believe the president has the right to keep every single citizen safe in this country.
She was asked if she was interested in speaking to Portlanders for their view on the situation. Noem replied, "We believe the president has the right to keep every single citizen safe in this country." What? In Tank, how are you today?
How are you, sir? I'm doing well.
Fine. What's on your mind?
I'm a Trump supporter, and a lot of the stuff that you have very well thought out arguments. I will tell you one thing. You changed the way that I debate gun laws with conservatives, because overall I'm looking to win elections, which means I must come to some compromise at some point of the road with Democrats. Otherwise, you can't win elections. And you didn't know I was there, but you articulated a gun, universal background checks, basically. You articulated that in a way that I have never been told. Either it's yelling like, you must obey, or it's like, we must protect our guns and go shoot them deers, right? PPs and deers. But you articulated in a way that was never, ever done to me. And it made total sense. And that's universal background checks. Now, I'm probably not going to agree with you on all aspects of that. And you didn't even articulate all those either. But the bell, it just hit. And it's an area that I think we can compromise on, Republicans and Democrats. And I think that we should work on that. I don't know how. Because it seems like gun rights are state issued, actually. I didn't realize until this conversation happened. Because we can't do this. I'm new to this app. And this technology is amazing. I'm also a former elected official, and I've never had a conversation as I've had in the past 2 weeks with people as an elected official or as a human, because you go to high school and then you go to college and then you're fighting whatever. And then you listen to talk radio in my world and then you just go to work. Right. And then you hate each other. You type shit about each other on Facebook constantly, just hate. Right. And it's like the race to the most hate. But I think that we need to do something. We just need to do something as a country about guns overall. Just even if it's not
just trying to say, if we could say firearm. It's okay. Sorry. I get it, man. I get it.
I'm really sorry. We have to do something.
We don't know. TikTok is just weird these days. We just don't know. So thank you for that. I appreciate it.
No, I know. Thank you, and I will get it. I'm new to that, but I understand. And I'm, even if it just does one, I just think this is a win, and that we can get past this because we spent a lot of energy on this, and I'm sick of it. I was born in '83, and again, I want to dominate elections. I want to beat you every election, but I know how I lose elections, and it's two things: it's the pews and it's the ABs. And those are the two things. And once we solve that, and maybe I shouldn't be telling you this, but once we solve that, I can dominate elections again in the state. But until then, I'm losing school board seats again.
Interesting. I'm just curious. Well, thank you for saying that. You can call me Steve if you want, Tank. So
Me too.
what was it specifically?
Okay, there you go. Steve as well. This is crazy.
Excellent. So what was it specifically about the because I'm curious because I want to remember this.
There was a woman and she was talking.
Okay.
Yeah, the woman was talking loud, and maybe it was another conversation you were in, but she was explaining to me how we only have state pew pew laws. And it like clicked, because then she was arguing with me about like how I was wrong, but she realized I was in a different state than her. And she was on your side, but she came, oh yeah, that's right. Okay. And then so she looked up the laws in my state, and then I realized, oh my gosh, we don't have universal background checks at all. Like we just have individual state things. And in Wisconsin, I'm from Wisconsin, we used to have a 48-hour waiting period for, the short ones, the handheld pew-pews. And then we went to 0, which overall I support, but like, maybe I don't. And then I realized that's not countrywide, and it's just a free for all. And we, unfortunately, from both sides, we have a problem with the internet, brainwashing children. I've seen it. I fought it locally. And I'm talking from both sides of the aisle. I'm talking from the left doing whatever they're doing, and I'm talking from the right doing whatever the fuck they're doing.
Well, what's the left doing?
Overall, I come here in peace, right? What I see.
Me too.
Locally,
it's just a question. I'm just curious.
Basically, grooming children and the tranny stuff is getting out of control.
Okay, dude, that you just lost me. You can get the fuck out of here because you said the T slur. To me, it's like, I want to have these conversations, sir, but then you do stuff like that, and you just prove exactly who you are, right? You just proved exactly who you are. You want to come up here in peace, and then you drop the T slur? You see? This is the best you've got. That's the best you've got. That's the best you've got. Literally. It just shows me. I didn't know that was. I didn't know. I'm sorry. I don't filter into the request box. I just bring people up and have these conversations. That's just who. That's who they are, you guys. That's who you are. That's who MAGA is. That's who MAGA is. You didn't know? You didn't know, Intank, to drop the T slur? Come on. You didn't know? Come on. If you were unsure, then you shouldn't have said it anyway. And if you want to beat us in elections, then stop being a bigot and run on policy instead of fear-mongering people, because that's how Republicans win. They cheat and they fear-monger. You can't stand on legislative agendas. You can't. Because the overwhelming majority of Americans don't believe what you preach, so you have to cheat. You're cheating right now in Texas, in Missouri, in Ohio, in Indiana. We're going to talk about that, because the way that Republicans are cheating, they're going to math their way to victory in the House next year, unless we show up and fucking vote like crazy. They can't run on policy. They can't. So I just want it known that I'm willing to have these conversations with anybody. But I have a line. You want to be a bigot, you're not going to share space here. It's just not going to happen. I was hoping we could have a genuine conversation, like, what was it that I said about universal background checks? I want to remember what it was. I want to remember what that was so that I can have that conversation with other people. Instead, you show your bigot. Not going to come back into my space after you drop a fucking slur. Don't you get it? Don't you understand? It's a slur. Do better. God damn. What the fuck? Not going to break bread with that bullshit. Mudflower. It's a fair question that you just asked. Mudflower, you timed out. Hold on a second. It comes back to the issue of trans people because they don't have anything to run on. They don't have policy that is popular with the American public. They don't. Think about the things that they talk about when they're cornered. They talk about violent crime, of which the percentages of violent crime are higher in red states than they are anywhere else. They talk about the migrant invasion because they're bigoted, even though there's not a migrant invasion. And they talk about Issues they talk about, again, please give me some discretion on this. They talk about transgenderism. They want to use that as fuel. They can't run on policy. So imagine this scenario. If the Democrats, if the left had the organization that the right has, meaning their voters are loyal and they'll believe everything, and then the policies that we run on that are popular, Republicans would never win another election. Ever. Ever. The issues that we're talking about, 70% of Americans believe that there should be some type of firearm reform. That's Democrat, Republican, Independent. In fact, the majority of Republicans believe that. The majority of Americans that believe that wild concept, that women should have a right to their body. Again, Republican, Democrat, Independent. Those two things are the things that he brought up. Those two things. You're not going to win elections based on those two issues unless you fucking cheat. Stop being such a trash fucking human being. Just stop being so fucking pitiful. Just stop being such a fucking trash human being. Oh my God. Hey, Hazy, how you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm all right. What's on your mind?
So I just wanted to bring this up because I think you and I have had conversations before, and people bring up about transgender children and, oh, it's the internet influencing them and all these things. I just want to put it out there. My child's now 14. She came out to us at the age of 8. She has never had a social media account. She does not have internet access except for at school, and they limit her access to public media because of the mental health toll that it has taken on her to see the news under the current administration, which we didn't have that issue before. So you can't blame everything on the internet because we are very conservative when it comes to social media with her. Otherwise, we're a very liberal household. So as far as people wanting to blame that, they can go screw themselves because that's just not the case. These people are who they are, and they expect that they should have the respect that they deserve.
I agree. I completely agree with you. I mean, I think we've discussed this before. Maybe you and I have. I've just maybe said this in general. This is a time when your parenting chops are really necessary. Because we had a live this week where we talked about red pilling, black pilling, blue pilling. Then we went into the patriarchy and how we can be a traitor to the patriarchy. And then we laid out a utopian plan as to what a matriarchy would look like if we had one here. All of that just means that we really need to be paying attention to what our kids are doing, especially the young men in our lives, especially our boys, especially our sons. And then dads, calling all boy dads, you really got to step up, fellas. Really got to step up.
And I just want to add, I don't usually read the comments, but I see there's someone in here, baseball 2024. You can blame me all you want for supporting my child, but I will absolutely always 100% double down, 10 toes down, support my child. So you can blame me all you want. I'd love to see you have the balls to come say that to my face.
Yeah, he won't. He's a coward.
Which we know won't ever happen.
Exactly. I love you, Hazy. Thanks for sharing that with us, friend. I appreciate you very much. You too. See you later. Sam, your friend's back. Again, it's not that difficult to just be a decent person. It's really not that hard. If you don't have anything good to say, then don't say anything at all. If you don't, just don't say anything at all. If you don't have anything nice to say to somebody, then don't say anything at all. It just shows you how weak you are. It just shows you how beta cucky MAGA men are. The most Christian, white, cis, hetero Christian men in America in 2025 are the most privileged group of people to ever exist in humankind. And you're fucking mediocre at best. And you complain about everything. You scream, you cry, you stomp your feet, you yell, and then you toss out fucking racist, bigoted statements. Wow. What are you afraid of? What are you so afraid of? What are you so afraid of that you'll spend your time in a comment section on a live and then come into a space and then drop the T slur? What are you so afraid of? You're defending predators. You are cheering when American citizens are being popped in the head with a rubber bullet from an ICE agent, a priest, no less. Children being zip-tied. Women being the children being ripped out of the arms of their parents over lies? Do you still think Portland doesn't, all the cities, all the stores and restaurants in Portland are boarded up? You realize that your party and your belief set are the ones that are committing the most crimes, the ones that are the most violent towards children, the ones that are the most violent towards women. You understand that, right? You don't want to know the truth, which is the worst part. You just don't want to know. Drives me crazy. Hey, friend, how are you?
Hey, I'm wonderful.
It's been a minute.
I know. I just pop in every now and then. But did you see that Pete Kegspress announced this morning that Qatar is going to have an air base for training in Idaho?
Is that what this? I think the mods just sent me this. I'll play the sound since you're here. Hold on a second. Since you're here,
to buy a base.
Since you broke the news, here you go.
No one other than President Trump could have achieved the peace that we believe will be a lasting peace in Gaza, and Qatar played a substantial role from the beginning, working with our folks to ensure that came about. So I want to thank you for that historic piece. Look forward to joining the president as that gets, it's already been delivered, but as that's formally signed as well. And I'm also proud that today we're signing a letter of acceptance to build a Qatari Emiri Air Force facility at the Mountain Home Air Base in Idaho.
Wow. That's America first.
Wow. I don't believe there's ever been history of a foreign entity having a military facility on U.S. soil that I recall. I don't know. I'm only 48, but I'm pretty sure that's never happened. Yeah. So.
Wow.
And
damn.
A $400 million plane, right? Wow. Just flies you, and then the connection with Pam Bondi with the Qatar. I mean, yeah.
Maven, you keep cutting out, friend. And of all places, Idaho. So, I'm sorry. You keep. There you go. You're back. You were cutting out there for a second. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Anyway, I just wanted to see if you saw that, and I love.
Thank you.
I love you. I watch you every morning. I think you're wonderful, and I'm transporting right now. I'm teleporting, so I'm going to go. But
thank you, friend. I appreciate you very much for being here. Thanks a lot. See you later. Here's the rest of that sound.
Location will be host a contingent of Qatari F-15s and pilots to enhance our combined training, increase lethality, interoperability.
Hey, MAGA. Hey, MAGA patriots, you fucking cucks. I dare you. I dare you to tell me that that's okay. I dare you to tell me a foreign nation's Air Force being housed and a letter of acceptance to build an Air Force facility in a U.S. state. I dare you to tell me that that's okay. I dare you to find me another point in history that has happened. And then I dare you to explain to me why it's just a coincidence that Donald Trump has a $400 million gift from the Qatari government. I dare you. I dare you. Wow. This sounds so fucking dangerous. What are we doing? What the fuck are we doing? That's wild. Holy shit. Hey, Sue, how are you today?
Good morning. Happy Friday to you.
And you.
I was calling. I just had a discussion with my husband, who we are kind of, well, sometimes we're on the same page, many times we're not, about many issues. And I told him I woke up this morning and this thought was just in my head. And I hadn't dreamed it or anything, but it was about transgenderism. I have 4 children. 2.
Which is not really a thing. I want to be. Are you saying that he brought that up?
No, I brought it up because I have 2 children that are on the other side of the aisle, and their big problems with that is the transgenderism issues.
It's not. Let's not use that word, Sue.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, let's just talk. We're talking about trans people. It's not an ism.
Okay,
They're people.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay?
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm still learning. But
okay.
okay, T people. Anyway, my
trans,
daughter.
You can say it. You can say it. You can say you can say trans people. Okay, let's just try to
trans people.
Use this as an educational opportunity. Okay, it's trans people because they're human beings.
Trans people.
Okay.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And I'm on. I try to be an ally, but I'm still learning. So
I understand.
Anyway, my daughter is on the side of the children. She has young children, and they're being, she thinks they're being, there's a chance they're going to be indoctrinated and all this. And we have discussions that I'm defending, and she just texted me a couple of weeks ago about they had gone to a rodeo, and her son, who is 4, decided he wanted to be a bull rider. And she was like, "Oh, I hope he doesn't decide to do that." Ha ha ha. And we all know the issues with a bull rider is can break their back, many injuries, and yet her and my husband's arguments against T people issues.
Trans people, Sue.
Trans people. I'm sorry. Trans people issues.
Trans people.
Trans people issues is that they'll do it to a child.
Sue, listen, I'm trying to help you out here, but you're saying some things that are harmful. Okay, so just try to listen. Try to listen for. Hold on a second. Try to listen for a second.
Yes, sir.
Trans people are not an issue. Trans people are human beings.
Right.
So when you use words like that, it dehumanizes them.
Okay.
Okay. So if you want to, you can't consider yourself an ally. You have to be accepted into the community to be an ally.
Okay.
If you want to be an accomplice, then you need to be careful of your language. I know you're trying to unpack this, and I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt that you're not doing it intentionally.
Okay.
But it's not. They're trans people, just like you're a woman in America. Trans people exist. Trans people are not the issue. Bigotry is the issue. Okay?
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
Okay.
I'm having to deprogram myself, and
I got you. We're here. I'm trying to help. We're just trying to help. That's all. We're just trying to help. Okay.
Okay. Well, anyway, I was discussing this with him because I was saying it was more about toxic masculinity and how the football and bull riding and all of this is celebrated. Sure. And it's like, well, if your worries are about people being injured, I mean, I know families that have started their children young riding bulls. So, I mean, if you're worried about people, because that seems to be the argument that I get, is that children are going to be injured, and I don't believe that. And I hope I'm not saying anything wrong here, but I'm just saying that I was trying to point out to him that the way our country is that it really isn't about children being injured. It's to me
you're
anyway.
Right. I got you. I know what you're trying to say, and I can hear it in your voice, and you sound like a nervous. And we're just trying to help you out because these are the kinds of things that really, really impact people. We don't want, especially if we want to be considered an accomplice and we want to be on the side of human rights. People just in general want to be left alone, right? People just want to be able to live their lives.
And I don't want to hurt anyone.
I know you
sorry.
don't. It's okay.
I'm really sorry.
That's why. I know, Sue. It's okay. That's why we're having these conversations. It's okay. I get it. We can feel it. Everybody in the chat loves you. I get it. Everybody's trying, but these are words. These are words that you just have.
I understand.
I know. I got you. I got you. It's okay. It's all right. We got you. It's really okay.
I really try not to talk about most of this just because I end up getting in fights. And so I haven't really been practicing my language.
I get it.
About it. And I think about it a lot. And I just don't like people being mistreated. And I'm really sorry.
You don't have to
intentions
apologize.
like that.
I know you didn't, and nobody here did. That's why we're here. I'm glad you're in our community because we recognize that we all make mistakes. We're all human. We're all human. We all make mistakes, and maybe nobody ever took the time to just say to you, that's probably not a good word to use. So I'm hoping you're not taking it as an attack from me because it's not my intention.
No.
I'm not attacking you. I'm just trying to.
I've listened to you enough to know that, I think you do know my intention, but I have a lot to learn and I need to, since I don't actually talk about this much, I try to defend and I probably don't use all the right words. And I'm really sorry if I hurt anybody talking to you.
It's okay. It's okay, Sue. I'll relate something to you. My oldest son's partner prefers to go by they, them, and I slip all the time. And I will call them. I almost did it just now. I will call them her, or I will call them she. I slip all the time. All we can try to do every single day is just try to do better. That's it.
Right.
That's it. So now maybe that's something that's in your head that you're like, okay, I remember that. Just all we have to do is all we should ask from anybody is to try to do better. And we're learning. And I can feel it in your heart. I can really, really feel it in your heart that you want to be to do better. And that's all we can do. Right. So don't worry. I mean, I hope this conversation, I want you to leave feeling like empowered, like, I can do that. And it's what's going to happen.
I can.
You're going to slip up tomorrow. It does. You're going to slip up tomorrow and you'll probably slip up the next day, but you know it. Now you're like, okay, I get it. Yeah.
Well, I live in Missouri. So there you have it too.
I get that.
So anyway, listen, I won't keep you. I appreciate the education and I'll try to do better.
Sue. It's no problem. I appreciate you very much. Thank you for being so on. And I have honest and having integrity. I appreciate you. So have a good day. Be safe out there.
You too.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
We're all trying to learn, right? We're all trying to do better. I mess up all the time. I just got new tattoos, by the way, for my son. And his partner was there. And I prefer to call them by their name because it makes it easier for me. But when you're navigating through life, it happens. And I feel bad about it because I know, but it just happens, right? It happens. We're human. We can't make a mistake. I mean, we're humans. We make mistakes, and that's okay. Okay? And that's really, really okay. I'm going to bring up Anachronistia real quick because I just need to take a little break, and I'll be right back. Good morning, friend. I will be, wait till she loads. I'll be right back.
How's everybody doing in chat today? That was a really impressive conversation, Sue, if you're still listening. It's deconstructing is a slow and bumpy path, and you have to start somewhere. We all make mistakes. I have a friend that I've known for about 8 years who is going through the early stage of their transitioning, and it's a minefield. I call them by the wrong name sometimes. I mix up the wrong genders, and it's most trans people will say to you, we understand that mistakes will be made, and as we can tell that you're trying, and that's all they really want, is just to know that you have the respect enough for them and their choices to try. And I definitely think that Sue was putting a lot of effort into, and I have a lot of respect for that. And I don't know, Sue, if you're in the Discord, if you want to join the Discord, it's in link in Steve's bio. Hunt for me. We'll have a conversation. Welcome back, Steve. I hope you are with us.
Thank you, friend. I appreciate you. Thanks a lot. Are you ready for your journey?
Ready. Whee!
Thank you for that. Those conversations, those away. I mean, I live for those. To be honest, I mean, we're all trying to do better, right? We're all trying to learn. And thank you, Sue, for being so sincere and so real, because that's what's necessary. Okay. Hold on a second. Let me just check a couple of things here. I think I saw another couple of people who wanted to contribute to the cause today. Ryan, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you very, very much. You're a good man, sir. Happy Friday to you as well. Is that Linda? Oh, Linda, for your $69 donation, because I just wanted to hear you say 69. Okay. Okay, moving on. All right. So I have to do the math now. 74, it's like 40, something like that. Okay. Shit. Okay, that was funny. Okay. Yeah, I know, blushing. Gosh, damn it. All right. A few other things. So that news about the Qatari Emery Air Force building a facility at Mountain Home Air Base in Idaho. What the fuck? All right. A few other things here that I wanted to kind of get to today. That's relatively new, that we haven't discussed yet enough this morning. Statement made by the president regarding programs as the MAGA Republican government shutdown enters its 9th day. The MAGA Republican government shutdown to kick millions of Americans off of their health care, but more importantly, to cover up for a predator. There's that. So this is Mr. Trump talking about programs that are being cut. And then I have some questions when we're done.
We'll be making cuts that will be permanent. And we're only going to cut Democrat programs. I hate to tell you. I guess that makes sense.
What?
We're only cutting Democrat programs.
What programs are those?
But we're going to start that. And we have Russell can talk to you about it if he wants to. But we'll be cutting some very popular Democrat programs that aren't popular with Republicans.
Like what? Healthcare?
Exactly, because that's the way it works. They wanted to do this, so we'll give them a little taste of their own medicine. But and
Democrat programs? Like which ones? Healthcare, you're cutting that. Okay, so is that a Democrat program? Funny that you talk about that, but states that vote for you are the highest enrollees in programs like the ACA. Democrat programs? How would you know? See, what you don't know and what you're lying to your base about, you orange piece of fucking shit. Oh, I haven't done my daily. Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, Kristi Noem, Dan Bongino, etc. Steve, I'm Facts, every day, Monday through Friday, right here live, also streaming on YouTube. Maybe check it out. Fuck you. Thanks. What you're lying to your people about is that the programs that you want to cut, the Democratic programs that you talk about that you want to cut, are going to raw dog your people a hell of a lot worse. They are going to affect us because in our states, we're educated. Because in our states, we protect the rights of others. Because in our states, we care more about your voters than you do. Because we want health care protections for everyone. We believe radically that children should be able to fucking eat. And if you want to cut those programs, good luck. Good luck with that. Really appreciate you. Wow. Democrat programs. Hey, Heather, what Democrat program should we cut first?
I don't know. What I was going to say was when they were talking about the Air Force Base in Mountain Home, Idaho or whatever. Idaho is full of right-wing militias.
Oh, yeah.
And for a long time, I grew up in western Montana. For a long time, the talk has been they want to take over the Northwest for their little white militia, Republican, whatever. They literally want to take over like Montana, Idaho, Washington, and Oregon.
I lived in Idaho for a while. I lived in Idaho for a while. You're absolutely right. It's crazy. It's beautiful, but there's some weird shit going on up there.
Yeah, definitely. Yep. And it's been going on for a long time.
Wasn't it Ruby Ridge? Was it Ruby Ridge?
Yes. Yes.
That was Idaho, right? Yeah. Yep.
Pretty scary.
Pretty scary.
And I'm like, I'm from Montana. I don't want y'all anywhere near my state.
No.
Even though it's gotten redder and redder and redder since I left.
That's true. That's true. Thanks for jumping in today. I appreciate you very much. Oh, sorry. Anything else? You got it. Talk to you later.
That's it.
You have a good day. All right.
All right.
I'm still blown away by the fact that we're going to be putting, a foreign nation's Air Force on American soil. This is what's going to. I'm just trying to predict this because there's one or two lives that if I'll scroll into over the weekends. I'm not sure. By the way, reminder: Facts After Dark tonight at 7 p.m. Music that pumps you up, songs that pump you up is the title because we're gonna exhale quite a bit tonight. How are they going to spin this? How is the America First crowd going to spin this? How? This is what Schmittler did in 1930s Germany. This is why we discuss history. He sold a vision of a new Germany to the German citizens, all German citizens at the time, everybody. Versailles Treaty signed after World War I, right? Really limited Germany as to what they could do. But here's the historical connection, because our presidents at the time believed in isolationism. Like we want to become walled off. We don't want to pay attention to what's happening in the rest of the world, which is partly why Germany was able to get away with so many violations of the Versailles Treaty, which then allowed them to rebuild their military, rebuild their industrial capacity, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Things that they were not supposed to be able to do according to the terms of the Versailles Treaty that they signed. Okay? So there's that. So what Schmittler did, check mod chat. Hosting 12 planes. Okay, that's fair. Thank you, Tiff. So it doesn't seem like maybe the airbase thing is what's happening. I think Hegseth made it sound like it was. It seems like we're hosting 12 planes. Okay. The statement is that's fair. If that's the case. That's fair. The statement is, I'm also proud today that we are signing a letter of acceptance to build a Qatari Emery Air Force facility at Mountain Home Air Base in Idaho. We'll fact check that, guys. So thank you, Tiff. Appreciate that. And thank you, Brooke, for letting me know. So again, back to the rise of the Reich. So post Versailles Treaty, Germany basically violated the rules. No one bothered. America was not paying attention. So he sold the German citizens the rebirth of Germany. It was the rebirth of Germany. Got everybody on board. Economic reform. Will be the greatest nation in Europe. Blah, 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 blah. Sold them everything. Got them all in. Then the crime started. Because he had them so indoctrinated, because he had them so convinced that I've got to follow this leader because he gave me all this prosperity. That included Jewish people who were in Germany at the time. Then it was too late. Sound familiar? Does that sound familiar? Convince everybody that I am your protector. I will make America great again. I will put America first. And in doing so, I'm going to give you more money in your pocket. I'm going to lower your gas prices. I'm going to lower your grocery prices. And none of those things have happened. Meanwhile, United States military, in violation of Posse Comitatus, going into American cities, the National Guard being deployed, stuff like this, whether it's an air base or whether it's just airplanes, whatever it might be. One lie after another. This is why we make historical comparisons. This is why we say history doesn't repeat, but it rhymes. Custom Canine, I can play it for you. Since you just asked. Let's listen to that sound again. Where is it? It just drives me crazy. Okay, here's the story. Thanks, Tiff. I've got the best press secretary in the business. $12 billion deal may bring hundreds of Qatar, U.S. Is it Qatar? I think it's Qatar. For the purposes of this, it's Qatar. $12 billion deal may bring hundreds of Qatar U.S. Air Force base members to Idaho base. U.S. Air Force soon may bring 170 members of Qatar's Air Force to Mountain Home Air Force Base in Idaho. They would be coming to learn to fly the newest model of the F-15 fighter jet, specially modified for the Persian Gulf state. The Qatar trainees may be in for a culture shock should they find themselves in the city of Mountain Home. More than 90% of Qataris live in the capital city of Doha, which is full of skyscrapers, luxury hotels, attractions, museums, world-class food. The country is also incredibly flat and dry, with the majority of its land being desert. Qatar is